Stations. It's time for Sports 56 Middays with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. The first hour of Sports 56 Middays is brought to you by Action247.com. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
I got a piece of land out in the countryside. Lay back and smell the sun. Warm up the Georgia pie. Feels so good to be taking it easy. Why would I ever leave? 'Cause I know I got some good friends.
Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome into Sports 56 Middays as we get you set for the sports weekend. Hope your morning is off to a great start. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Gabe Kuhn. It's the Friday, August 20th, 2021 edition of Sports 56 Middays from the Family Leisure Studios, where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. First hour of the program is brought to you by Action 24/7. On the docket today, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. John Varlas will join us at 11:05, as he does every Friday during the prep football season. The season begins in earnest tonight. Bunch of games tonight, some games tomorrow. There was a game yesterday, if you want to call it a game. There was a 60-0 blowout. But high school football is back. The public schools able to play here in Shelby County. So that is certainly good news. We'll talk to John about some of the key matchups. At 11:30, we turn our attention to the Memphis Grizzlies, who have made move after move this offseason. We'll be joined by Michael Wallace, the senior editor, contributor, and analyst for Grind City Media. Oh, by the way, the NBA schedule is released this afternoon. And then at 12:05, we'll talk college football, in particular Ole Miss and Mississippi State, with our friend Brad Logan, reporter, columnist, and host of the Brad Logan podcast. We got 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation. That'll come your way at 12:30. We have some baseball news. We have some NFL with preseason week 2 getting underway last night. We have a college football transfer, a quarterback who is leaving. And we also have an Amani Bates sighting in Oregon after his visit to the University of Memphis. All that coming up on the program today. And, of course, you could be a part of the show. You always can text in 24/7. We'll find those texts, and more than likely we'll read those texts when we got the show coming up. It is the AutoZone text line. It is 360-8255. And during open segments, meaning no guests, you can always call us. We'd love to hear from you, 901-360-8255, or you can just kick back, relax, and listen. There's so many different ways to listen, whether it be on Sports 56 98.5 FM or on the web at sports56whbq.com. And, of course, you can message us on Facebook, YouTube, if you're watching us on Twitter or Twitch. Many, many different ways to tune in to Middays. Eli, how are you?
I'm okay.
Gabe asked me, he walked in, he said, how you doing? I said, I'm all right. And he said, I just like you. It's Friday. Everybody should be great on Friday, right?
I've got a little issue I'm working with. I actually might need some help with some people. I went and got I've got new glasses, and because I'm old and blind, this is the first time I've ever had progressive lenses, basically bifocals. And they're messing me up, man. Like it is a weird deal, and I don't know. So I don't know how long it takes you to get adjusted to these things, but man, it is like it's messed me up for the last 18 hours. I don't know. I guess I got them yesterday afternoon. I don't know what that was, but they're just like, it's just weird with this whole two different lenses type thing. When I look one way, it's one thing. I look another, I get blurry stuff. So they've really been messing with my eyes. And last night my eyes were watering and stuff. So I was like, I don't know. I don't even know if I could wear these things. Like I got to give them some time, but man, it is messing me up right now.
It's the 60s, man. You're on an LSD trip. There's nothing to it. You'll be back to normal here soon. Just go with the flow, man. That's all it is. Are you seeing alligator lizards in the air? What are you seeing out of those specks? Are you seeing things that shouldn't be there? Is that what's happening?
I just want to be able to see.
Wait, you can't see?
I can see, but it's like at certain times when I look at the wrong spot or something, like I can't, it takes a while to focus and everything else because I'm looking, I guess, through the wrong, I don't know. It's just,
It's not a kaleidoscope, is
it's
it?
It's just weird. It's just it's going to take some time to get used to, I guess. The doctor had told me that when you switch to those, it'll take you a little bit to adjust and everything. But man, oh man, it was like last night. Like my eyes were watering. Like I was like, what is going on in this world? It was today.
I'm
it's
sure
a
it's
little
adjustment.
bit, just a slightly better than yesterday. But there are still times when I look and I'm like, what is going on? And it's like, so it's different than what I expected.
Yeah, I have just the reading glasses. Anybody who's watching us can see the glasses I wear just for reading. I don't have to use them driving or anything like that. I'm farsighted, but it has a little bit of the bifocal in there as well, so I can really get clarity as I'm looking down at notes or reading things off my iPad or my phone. So, yeah, we're just getting old. That's the way it is.
Now,
that's the way of the world.
Now, Texter does not make me feel better. They say progressive lenses are the worst. You never get used to them. Well, if after like a couple of weeks it doesn't get better, I can tell you right now, I ain't going to have progressive lenses anymore.
You're heading back to the optometrist.
I will be getting rid of them and continue to take my glasses off when I need to read something because I can't live like this. That's for sure.
So I saw this story today from Nicole Auerbach, and at first I was like, no big deal. But then I read a little bit more, and she said we already knew that the ACC, the Big Ten, and the Pac-12 had conversations about some sort of an alliance. Nobody really knew what it was about, but most had perceived it would be just like a scheduling thing.
It's kind of like an alliance of American football.
And we know what happened there. But the ACC, Big Ten, Pac-12 have had not only these discussions, but Nicole Auerbach says that an announcement could come as early as next week. And what she's hearing is it's more than just a scheduling alliance. So what are we looking at here? It's intriguing.
It is. They are going to unite their armies to storm the SEC offices.
I can picture Sankey up there with the headband, AK-47, just ready to take on.
It's basically going to look a lot like Anchorman. It's going to be those three those three conferences are going to band together just against the SEC. So it's going to be it's an unfair fight, really, when you get down to it. But there's going to be fighting in the streets.
Oh gosh, those things were so funny.
And the American, the American and the Big 12 might join in some way on their own special, or they may just fight in Dallas amongst themselves. They may just have a separate fight in Dallas while the others are storming Birmingham and the SEC.
All right, look. Let's be serious. There's only a 50% chance it's going to be an Anchorman fight. That's, the odds are not that great. But what could it be, in all seriousness, as far as scheduling? Yeah, that's understandable. But what else can there be that brings these three conferences together? And I would think that the stronger those three are together as a unit, the weaker and weaker and weaker the Big 12 becomes to stay afloat with 8 once the Oklahoma-Texas situation is settled, which could be next year, or it may not be until the contract runs out in 2025. So this is something I think that is a little bit more right now, until we know all the details, intriguing to me than it would be if it was just a scheduling alliance. If it's a scheduling alliance, I couldn't care less. But it seems like it's more than that, according to Nicole Auerbach. Read the article, and we'll see if we get that announcement as early as next week. On the Memphis Tigers front, all I know is Grant Gunnell missed another practice, Gabe Kuhn. Does that concern you any bit?
Of course there's some concern. But again, I mentioned it yesterday. Right now, there's no reason to push any injury. Mm-hmm. I don't think this is anything that's going to be surgery is not needed. So as far as I'm concerned, keep him out, hold him out, don't let it linger.
15 days until opening day for the Tigers. They'll open up with Nicholls State on, I think it's the 4th, right? And that will be at Liberty Bowl Memorial Stadium. Yesterday, we gave you the news on the parking situation with Liberty Park now under construction. And you can always go to the Go Tigers Go website if you need more information on that. And there's shuttles, but there's also a lot more spaces available over at the Coca-Cola plant and other areas. Is it Coca-Cola? Is that right? Yeah. And other areas to make up for what they lose from where the construction is taking place. From the NFL, we had a preseason game last night. Not much of one. Patriots beat the Eagles 35-0. Jalen Hurts, who was warming up, smiling from everything that I read, was ready to go, and then got ill. And he was taken to the hospital. And it ended up being, I think, some kind of stomach bug, some virus, not COVID. He tested negative for COVID, and he was a late scratch. So you saw a lot more Joe Flacco.
Jalen's stomach hurts.
Yes, indeed. In the meantime, from the Patriots side, a little more intriguing with that quarterback situation. Cam Newton starts, goes 8 of 9 for 103 yards and a touchdown. Nothing wrong with that. And then Mac Jones comes in and throws some good balls. One that was dropped by Henry that should have been caught. Henry ended up hurting his shoulder. But a lot of people came out of it saying that there's no question Mac Jones is going to be good enough to run this Belichick offense and not too far down the road. Whether or not it's the opening game, we'll wait and see. As Cam Newton said the other day, Bill Belichick has not told him whether or not he will start the opening game. I still believe, and Gabe, I think you're in agreement with me, that Cam Newton will start game one, and Mac Jones, when it's all said and done, will end up having more starts.
Mac Jones just looked comfortable in that offense. The play action stuff, he's very comfortable checking it down. He gets the ball out of his hand very quickly. It just looks like he is built for a Josh McDaniels offense. And I would imagine that Josh McDaniels is a lot more comfortable with a guy like Mac. Cam played well last night. I got to give him his credit. But Cam, every ball he throws, it looks like he has to put everything onto it. And it concerns me for the long run.
Sure, it concerns them as well. Kenny Gainwell, the former Tiger, got more action last night. Looks like he's a pretty darn good pass catcher out of the backfield. And that's one way he'll be utilized on this Philadelphia team that has some veteran running backs. And you did not see Jake Elliott. Jake Elliott hurt his ankle earlier in the week, so was not able to kick. But I don't think it's anything that the Eagles believe is too serious. So, once again, a couple of Tigers involved, one actually playing, one not playing in the first preseason game of week number 2. There'll be a bunch of games tonight. Also, a lot of joint practices. And with joint practices comes fights. And a massive brawl broke out during the Rams-Raiders joint practice. They had to stop the practice. It ended 45 minutes prematurely. And I guess it comes with the territory. You're hitting each other, and now you get a chance to hit somebody else. Tempers are going to flare.
Yeah, I wonder. I wonder if they're. I mean, because the Bucks Titans had like 5 fights,
right?
Including Antonio Brown getting kicked out of the practice. You saw in Hard Knocks, the Cowboys Rams. They had their fight, and I just wonder if we'll get to where the coaches are just going to say, like, I'm not sure these are worth it if there's constantly going to be fights, because the last thing we want to do, I mean, Aaron Donald's involved in that fight against the Cowboys. Like, what if Aaron Donald gets hurt in a stupid fight in a scrimmage or, joint practice with another team? And so I just wonder if coaches will start thinking, like, I'm not sure this is really worth it for us to do these things if it's always going to result in fights. And you could certainly see why, because when you're doing these drills and it's not supposed to be, full speed or whatever, well, there's some guy out there who's still trying to earn a spot on the roster who may go a little further because he's trying to impress. He wants to show, like, dude, I'm like crazy man out here. I'm going to go. I'm always 100% all this stuff. Or somebody's just going to go a little. Somebody's going to think somebody else went a little too hard or whatever, and you're going to get some pushing and shoving, and it's going to result in these things.
Well, a couple of things. Number one, secretly, maybe not even so secretly with some, coaches love this. I know there's concern about an injury, but they love it. They love the physicality. Number two, if Aaron Donald and all your stars are pretty much not playing at all in the preseason, some are for a few plays or a few series and some aren't, then if you're so concerned, why play them in this joint practice? Why not keep out your stars when it comes to the joint practices? Because you know it's going to get hot and heavy because of the reasons you just said. Guys that are trying to make an impression and trying to make the team. So maybe you keep those guys out. Antonio Brown, who is a main part. He's not the most important part by any stretch of the imagination with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But he pulls the guy's helmet off, Chris Jackson, and he punches him in the face. Bruce Arians, their coach, said he's not disciplining his guys. Nothing's going to come from this. And there probably won't be anything coming from the NFL as well. But what's the difference between having a joint practice, pulling a guy's helmet off and punching him in the face, or doing it in an actual game? Is it because of the people who see it? So I don't know. But he could have broke his hand. Brown could have broke his hand. Obviously, Jackson could have injuries. So, yeah, there is a risk-reward. But I always wonder why play your stars if...
Because they want to get them something in the preseason. and these are controlled situations where we can work on just certain situations and certain things.
Well, they don't control it much. And it seems like there's more confrontation and physicality in these than there are in the actual preseason games.
They're cutting down on preseason games, so that's part of the reason that I think this is going to be they're going to keep them around. But, Greg, you mentioned that coaches like it. I think, yes... But there's a line that coaches draw,
right,
where it becomes complete stupidity, and I think
if it
John
ruins the
Gruden,
practice, right?
and I think John
it, yeah.
Gruden mentioned that yesterday, and I think a lot of these fights are just unnecessary, ridiculous, sort of garbage.
We're in agreement.
In the middle of a camp where it's hot and guys are just starting to lean on each other and get annoyed. So there's a line. Yes, I think coaches like the physicality, but when it gets over to stupidity, that's when they start to get annoyed.
Well, perhaps Eli is right in the sense that maybe they shouldn't have these things because what do you get out of it? The pros and cons of what do you get out of it? All right, one other thing. We go back to college football, and this is not a surprise by any stretch. Brian Maurer has entered the transfer portal. Tennessee quarterback who looked like he was just not getting the reps, out of the mix. There's still 3 quarterbacks battling. But Brian Maurer, who's played some for the Volunteers, will be in the transfer portal. How long he'll be in the transfer portal is anybody's guess.
Well, it's I still don't even understand what took so long. I mean, when he missed like 7 straight practices, he obviously was not going to be on the Tennessee team anymore. So I'm not sure what took him so long. Maybe he had trouble finding the portal, didn't know where it was. Got bad directions or something like that, but I don't understand what took him so long to get to the portal.
Well, I've heard it's pretty easy to find the portal these days, but maybe he thought Heupel was going to come after him. Oh, we really need you, Brian. You know, we have to have you. Your services are well needed and respected, and he didn't probably hear a bleep from him. So,
well, Heupel at one point said he was going to talk to him, but what was he going to go? Tell him he was the starter all of a sudden?
I don't know if Maurer, and by the way, he had on social media a nice goodbye to Vol Nation and all that, but I don't know if he felt he was given adequate reps to showcase what he can do and legitimate and serious consideration for the starting job. It had to be that.
Yeah, he probably wasn't, but that wasn't going to change.
Right. Especially if he was being outperformed.
If you don't get to hold out. All right, fine. I'm not coming to practice until you promise to give me more reps. That's not going to happen.
Hey, athletes are different in this day and age. Little babying going on with some of them. Take your ball and leave. This is a perfect example of the competition's too stiff. I think I'm better than what they think I am. I'm taking my ball and I'm running with it. Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration for all your roofing and home repair needs. Call Brandon McCullough at 901-438-5084. Check them out online at newroofmemphis.com. They offer financing, different plans and options to suit your budget, whether it be a half year, a full year, maybe even an 18-month, same as cash option. They have that for you. They will work with your insurance company. They'll work out of pocket. They do residential and commercial roofing. So business owners and property managers, listen up. But also homeowners. If you have a leak or any other roofing problem, call Brandon today. They'll come out and do a free roof inspection. They're licensed, bonded, and insured, and a member of the Better Business Bureau. You get a 5-year labor warranty on the purchase of a new roof. And all their work is satisfaction guaranteed. Don't forget about the $100 referral fee for all new roofs. So, somebody who needs a new roof, you refer Pinnacle to them. They use Pinnacle. Pinnacle gives you $100 for that referral. They do carpentry work, exterior painting. They can replace gutters, fencing, siding, put up shingles, rotten wood repair. Work you can do, great. If you can't, call the experts at Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration. Do what I do. I give my friend Brandon McCullough a call. He's a local guy. This is a locally owned and operated company. 901-438-5084. Online at newroofmemphis.com. We are just getting underway. on a busy Friday. We got the NBA schedule that will come out later on today. The visit by Imani Bates is now history. He's off to Oregon. He's at Oregon. Will the Tigers get the good news over the weekend or as soon as Imani is ready to make that decision? We will discuss that on the program. Plus your texts on the AutoZone text line at 360-8255. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows. Stay up to date with station events and have chances to win prizes from Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hi, this is Troy Five-Ash, owner of Five-Ash Roof Services. You've heard me talk about how we offer the best products, the best warranties, and the best services for years. Now let's talk about pricing. Pricing should never be the only reason you hire a contractor, but in today's world, pricing is always a consideration. So we suggest you get 2 or 3 estimates for your roof replacement from a reputable, licensed, and insured company, and then give us a call. If we can't beat your best price for a comparable roof system by more than $100, we'll give you $100. It's that simple. We are so sure we can offer you the best price, beating all other qualified companies. We will hand you $100 if we can't, and thank you for the opportunity. So give us a call. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? Make $100? Five-Ash Roof Services, a proud supporter of Tiger Athletics and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Five-Ash Roof Services, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
I want to do some bragging rights. Hey, I was just the other day overhearing a conversation with Big Mike, the manager of DeSoto Auto Sales. They've got people buying cars all over the country. North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Arkansas, Texas. People from all over the country buy cars at DeSoto Auto Sales in Olive Branch, Mississippi. Why? DeSoto Auto Sales has the most stringent car inspection in America. They get it right the first time. Quality and low mileage, factory warranty on most vehicles. My favorite part is the people who work there. Big Mike, all the employees are professional, friendly, and go that extra mile. Expect as you walk in the door, you are treated like family. DeSoto Auto Sales understands your time matters. We can help you find your dream car and get all the paperwork finished in less than an hour. Come see us at DeSoto Auto Sales and be part of our family. Have a great buying experience every time. 662-890-7184.
Visit Frontier Western Store this summer to check out tons of new products. Frontier added so many new items in their women's boutique. There are daily arrivals with thousands of on-trend tops, jeans, and pants in stock at amazing prices. And guys, Frontier's your #1 Carhartt store. There's no one around with a larger selection of everyday fits and workwear. Wrangler and Ariat clothing also available. Frontier recently remodeled their entire store and expanded the world-famous boot showroom. Now there are even more dress and work boots in stock. After Ariat boots, then you've got to check out Frontier. There are over 1,000 pair of Ariat boots alone, and thousands more in other brands such as Dan Post, Corral, Durango, Rocky, and Twisted X. As if the selection isn't reason enough, there's Frontier's low prices. Frontier's pricing is lower than online and chain stores, so when you're ready for your next pair, you know right where to come. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Locally owned and operated since 1967.
Tiger football opens at home against Nichols Saturday, September 4th at 6. And the rest of the schedule features SEC opponent Mississippi State, Navy, SMU, and more. Single game tickets are on sale now for all games, including Mississippi State, which starts at $60. Season tickets are also on sale, and you can get all 7 games for just $99. To lock in your seats for all the action, call 901-678-2331 or visit GoTigersGoTix.com.
Action247.com is your Tennessee sportsbook for same-day pay. Action247.com. Local, legal. A sportsbook by Tennesseans, for Tennesseans. Win a little or win a lot. Action247 has same-day pay. The other guys make you wait for your winnings. No more waiting with Action247 same-day pay. Visit us online at Action247.com. Local, legal. Action247. You got action.
Problem gambling? Call 1-800-889-9789. Hey, we understand. With everything that's happening, with all the new regulations, maybe you're not ready to come and hang out at Sweetgrass to catch a ball game. We want you to, we really do. And we're open for you to do just that. But we're also offering the next best thing, the new Sweetgrass Tailgate Party Packs. Whether it's wings, house-made dips, sliders, or other Sweetgrass tasty treats, all you have to do is call us or go to sweetgrassmemphis.com to order just what you're dreaming of when you're dreaming of watching sports and enjoying some sweet, sweet Sweetgrass.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays. This hour is brought to you by Action247.com. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
I was working part-time in a 5 and dime. My boss was Mr. McGee.
All right, so Imani Bates now at Oregon after his visit to Memphis. And as always, when you talk to people in the know, they feel that the visit went spectacular. And I'm sure if you talk to the participant, this case, Imani Bates, they would say that the visit was spectacular. So there's really nothing you can get out of that. What you hope if you're Memphis is that you really sold the program, sold the idea of playing college, whether it be 1 or 2 years, and then also everything that went with it, the visit to the campus, the visit to the city of Memphis. So anybody who's been following this knows that Imani Bates on his Instagram page had sent out when he first got to the University of Memphis a couple days ago a picture of the snacks that the program provided for him when he got to his hotel room, which was solid. Everybody's probably seen that, all the Gatorade bottles, the big bag of Skittles, the Kit Kat, the big box of Ritz crackers, the big bag of Lay's potato chips. And then he comes back, Imani Bates, with another Instagram shot of what Oregon left for him, which was interesting because Oregon got the jump on the Tigers because they got to see what the Tigers put out there. So
that's the advantage. That's the advantage of going last.
The big advantage.
You get to see what is there and then respond to that. Although it was interesting, they went a lot of different things. They didn't just say, okay, well, we'll kind of go with that, but a little bit more. They went a different direction on a lot of things.
Yeah, they went variety. Not only did they provide the Gatorade, but also 3 bottles of water, the big can of Pringles, some Oreos, 2 bags of Skittles, 2 bags of Chex Mix, 2 Kit Kats, Eclipse gum because the breath, you want to have fresh breath, about 4 bags of those Welch's fruit snacks, a couple of the Nature Valley bars, some Oreo minis. Guy's going to be in pain with his stomach if he eats all that stuff.
Yeah, see, if I'm breaking these down, first of all, with the University of Memphis, kudos for going the big bag of Lay's. That's a good thing. And the massive box of Ritz. That right there would have me. Now,
well, Gabe said something during the break to me. Wait, Gabe said that it's fine, but the big box of Ritz with like the cheese,
see, that I was just gonna say. If you would have given me the can of easy cheese with it, I probably would have you would have had me on the spot. I would have just said, "Give me the letter of intent. We're good to go. You got to be easy cheese and Ritz." That's all I need.
I was curious. Look, I like a Ritz cracker.
Ritz, right?
It's fine, but you do need something on it, or else it's kind of dry.
With the old Andy Griffith
not kind of dry, it is dry.
They're one of the few
crackers
crackers I could eat without something on it, but no, it's way better with some cheese.
Right.
Or, maybe they set up a cheese and sausage plate or something later. I don't know. Maybe they had that on order. But obviously the Kit Kat, great. Skittles, I don't really care about those. And the Gatorade's fine, although orange is not my go-to for Gatorade for sure.
How do you compare the king-size Kit Kat to the 2 smaller Kit Kats that Oregon gave?
Well, see, I in some ways I kind of would like the 2 regular size where I could kind of eat them in 2 separate settings rather than open up that king size and I got to eat it all now and then I'm done with Kit Kat. So it's theirs. But the Oregon, the Pringles, very nice move with the Pringles. Probably should have went 2 cans of Pringles, but because once you pop, you can't stop. They went red and yellow or whatever you want to consider that Gatorade. So I prefer their flavors of Gatorade. And the mini Oreos, that's a pretty strong thing. But the big bag of Lay's versus 1 can of Pringles, even though I love Pringles, just by pure amount, advantage University of Memphis on the potato chip front.
I also think Oregon pushed their luck with the Gatorade Energy Chews.
No, I bet the kids love
No,
the
you get
Energy
those
Chews.
when you go over to the gym, you go over to practice. That's where they have that stuff. You don't need them in your hotel room. You want to eat junk in your hotel room, not an energy chew. You're not doing anything but sitting on your butt, probably watching TV before you hit the sack.
How do you know? He might be working out in the hotel.
Well, that's a possibility, but I doubt it.
Can confirm that they're not a snack. Eat them before a competition. The energy chews.
Right, it's before competition. So Eli's right if he's going to work out late at night at the hotel, but I doubt he did that. But I don't know for sure. So I don't know. It's advantage maybe Oregon because they had to get they got to look at what Memphis had.
Well, just by the Nature Valley bars is a big downgrade. That's a big negative for them, and you can throw that crap away.
Yeah, it crumbles all over the place. I think Drew Hill said that on Twitter today.
But Chex Mix, mini Oreos,
Chex Mix.
The variety. Again, they had the complete advantage here. I would go advantage Oregon, just because of the pure variety of everything and some very solid choices. Again, I would have loved a second can of Pringles. But nonetheless, I still don't understand how he's already at Oregon. I really don't. Did Phil Knight send the Nike jet to get him there? I don't understand how he was here yesterday and was at Oregon early this morning. You can't get to Oregon from Memphis Airport that quickly.
Let me tell you something. If Phil Knight sent the Nike airplane to get him, that beats the big can of Pringles.
I mean, I don't know. How the hell can he already be in Eugene, Oregon? You can't get from Memphis anywhere that quickly.
Yeah, I don't know what his travel arrangement was, but he's there. He's at Oregon. They're whining and dining him. Does Eugene have a better?
If they're whining him, that's trouble.
You know what I'm saying. Does Eugene, Oregon have a better restaurant than Coastal? Now, Coastal's really good. We have better restaurants than Coastal, but you weren't going to go extremely elegant, and you weren't going to go low key. You were going to go something in the middle or above, and that's what they did with Coastal, which is great food and a beautiful setting in Shelby Farms. Now, it rained yesterday, so it wasn't the best, but when I went there a couple of weeks ago, just absolutely beautiful night. Beautiful. The sun was setting. It was so picturesque. But was the food good? It was great. Hopefully it was for him, and had a great visit to Memphis. But when it comes down to it, this has nothing to do with anything in these gift baskets. We understand. We're joking around here.
I just wonder, I wonder what goes into deciding what you put in there. Do you try and get some intel on what he might like?
Yes.
Or are you just purely guessing that, hey, he's like a high school kid?
You ask the other guys on the team.
Nobody can say, because the thing was for Memphis went just plain Lay's, Oregon goes plain Pringles. They didn't try no flavored stuff there. They didn't so they just
that could backfire.
Just basic Lay's seems like it should be universal. But the colors of Gatorade, that's it. They went different. Memphis went heavy on orange, and Oregon went no orange.
All I know is...
does one of them know, does Memphis know that, he actually likes orange Gatorade?
Maybe.
Or does Oregon know he doesn't like orange Gatorade, and they're like, Memphis completely screwed up. They gave him 3 bottles of orange Gatorade.
Well, that's some great intel if they know that. Here's the thing, and I think this is probably well received by people. Gatorade warm sucks. I do not drink warm Gatorade.
It's all right.
It's got to be cold.
I mean, I drink Powerade over Gatorade anyway.
Well,
but
Gatorade, Powerade, that stuff has to be cold when it's warm. To me, especially the orange, when it's warm, it tastes like the liquid, the Jell-O before you make the Jell-O.
Orange is the worst Gatorade.
The powder
that's
of
why
the
I'm
Jell-O.
surprised that they went. Orange is the worst Gatorade.
What do you think's the best?
Well, see, again, I drink blue Powerade is the best of those.
I drink the blue,
Powerade
but I do
is
lemon
by
lime.
far the best.
Lemon lime is delicious.
In the Gatorade world, it is either red or yellow.
Yeah, that's lemon lime.
Those are the only 2 Gatorades.
But they also have these offshoot weird ones now.
The blue Gatorade is not. I'm not a big, but the blue Powerade is what I like. That's what I buy to drink. I keep the blue Powerade in my refrigerator at home. That is by far the best.
Just for this conversation, let's leave Powerade out of this. For Gatorade, once it was invented, and for years and years and years, decades and decades, it was, red, yellow, orange. Now it's like there's all kinds of weird Gatorades, like Gatorade with vitamin C or whatever it is. I mean,
they both have the like zero sugar.
Yeah, zero
variety,
sugar and
which is actually I do prefer that. But here's the thing: like for the Tigers, why would you not have blue? Or do you know that he doesn't like blue, so you didn't put blue up there?
Well, I hope he likes blue. I'm not talking about Gatorade.
But I'm talking
going
about
to see a lot of blue.
Like it would make sense for the Tigers to put blue up there, but maybe they don't. Maybe they're like, he doesn't like blue Gatorade.
So what are the limitations? How much can you put up there? Like on a visit from a recruit, Gabe, do you know the like limitations? Like how about if you had like $500 worth of stuff up there for him? Like what's the limit of amount of money that is there a limit?
I don't work in a compliance department, so I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, but you weren't wined and dined when you came to Memphis?
No. You're funny. You're really funny,
Want
Greg.
a big slab of meat for you waiting there when you got into your hotel room? No, I wonder if there are limitations. Maybe there's not.
We talked about this yesterday. I didn't get wined and dined at Coastal Fish Company.
I know. I understand.
By myself. I wasn't that type of recruit.
I do got to give Oregon credit. The big stack of cash I could see under the Oreos probably is going to be the biggest hit for him, I think. I don't know. Like that seems, those Oreos seem to be sitting higher than everything else, and I can't really tell what that is that's propping them up there, but it would appear to be cash. I'm not saying I can't confirm that for sure.
Well, you can't see you can't see the other side of the room, even in the Memphis picture. You can't see that Bill Laurie was sitting on one side and the FedEx executive on the other side. You can't see that.
In the Memphis picture, the blue bottles that are holding the Lay's bag up, is that water?
Yes, I believe
is that
it is.
Is that like fancy water?
I think it's fancy water.
Did they go fancy water instead of just regular Aquafina like Oregon went?
I think that came with the hotel room.
No, I don't know. But my comment was going to be if they got the Ritz crackers without any toppings and then the orange and yellow Gatorade, I'm really hoping Penny Hardaway and the staff had like a inside track and knew exactly what Amani Bates liked, because I would hate to have that in my room.
Because the bottles back there that's the blue. There is some blue at least amongst the grouping, but I can't tell what I was like, did they just get him like sparkling water in blue bottles? I don't know what that is back there. They're hiding the blue with the Lay's.
Could you imagine he has a little presser and he says, I've chosen to attend the University of Oregon. What was the difference? What was the difference maker, Amani? Well, they provided gum. Memphis had no gum for me when I arrived at my hotel room. They had gum.
When he goes and visits the G League, he'll just go to a table, he'll share a picture, and it will just be literally a big pile of cash. They're like, here, this is what we do. Like they can give you your snacks. We will just give you stacks of cash. What will it take?
Yeah, Oregon may have won the snack battle, very, very close, but they may have won the snack battle. But I don't think there's any way that they win the basketball battle, the coaching battle, the way they play the game battle. I don't know if he has a preference. Who knows? He may still end up in the G League. My intel's telling me it's Memphis. It was a fantastic visit. The chance to play with Jalen Duren, the chance to play for a former star in the NBA who runs the NBA sets on offense and defense. I think that will beat out everything that Oregon has to offer. Where he plays, I don't know if that matters, playing in Memphis as opposed to playing out on the West Coast, the conferences, Pac-12 versus, I don't know if that even runs through his mind. I think most of the time when you're at this level, it's a couple of things. One, it's the coach. Two, it's do you have a chance to make a run? And the third is now is name, image, likeness. What can I turn financially? What can I make?
Well, and I get what you're saying, but Oregon does have a coach who's been to a Final Four.
Yes, but I'm talking about
he goes to the NCAA tournament perennially, and he's been to a Final Four.
I don't think that matters as much with the elite players. They're looking at the coach that can get them to the NBA, and having been there, done that. I don't know about Dana Altman's NBA career. I don't know. I don't think he played in the NBA. I'm not sure how high at the college level. I'm sure he was a good basketball player, but you can't compare that with Memphis. If it's about, yes, a coach that's been in the Final Four, a coach that has made great runs in the tournament, well, Dana Altman would beat out Benny because Benny hasn't gotten it done yet. But that's not. I don't think that's even
Okay, it may not be, but we can't just say, I mean, when it comes to coaching, they can't compare to Memphis. They've got a much better college basketball coach.
But again, why I said that was because I meant not the results of what they have done as a college coach. I'm talking about what they are as far as having that connection to the NBA in the way that Penny has it. And now, of course, Larry Brown, Rasheed Wallace, even Cody Toppert. So that's why I talk about the Memphis coaching staff being the coaching staff that I would lean towards if I was one of these type of players who are destined for the NBA and would be a high school to NBA player bypassing college altogether if there was no one-and-done rule. So I think that's why they have the advantage, not because Dana Altman's been successful in the NCAA tournament.
Do you think there's any chance while Imani was here in town that Dylan Brooks was like stalking him in his hotel room and then like trying to sell Oregon on him?
I don't know if he was stalking him, but I wouldn't be surprised if Dylan Brooks has reached out to him.
He's just hanging out in the hotel lobby.
I don't know about
to be in the
that.
hotel lobby when Imani walks in. He's like, "Hey, Imani, man, Dylan Brooks from the Memphis Grizzlies. Good to have you in town. What you doing, man?" And then he's like, "Oh, you're going to Oregon. Let me tell you all about Oregon. I got a lot of great things to say about Oregon."
And look, Eugene, I'm not sure how far that is from Portland. I imagine it's not like that far, but Memphis has a team right here, just a mile or two away from the campus. And I think that's always big for these type of players as well, because especially a guy like Imani Bates, who has been working out with NBA players like Carmelo Anthony. And so to have that connection, to go to games when he's able to go to games, to see players who come into town early with
Carmelo
their team.
Anthony, who's been playing in Portland.
But he's no longer playing in Portland.
But could have been raving about how great Oregon is.
Hey, I'm not saying there's not pros for Oregon, but now watch him turn around and go, you know what? My original commitment was Michigan State. I'm staying with Michigan State. That's the thing now.
Jaren Jackson Jr. got to him while he was here. And Zach Randolph got to him while he was here.
Xavier Tillman.
Xavier Tillman got to him while he was here. They could have teamed up on him.
As long as this has drawn out, Eli, the more I think it will now be a down. Despite Jalen Duren picking Memphis, despite the prospects for this upcoming year, if they don't get Bates now, I think it's going to be a huge downer because it has been so prolonged, this whole ordeal, to where you are ready now to snatch this guy and maybe be a top 5 preseason team, at least a top 10 preseason team. So I think it would be a bit of a downer if they weren't able to get him.
It's funny to me, though, just because, like, I see all these pictures on social media from folks and parents and stuff talking about how, and it's like, oh, moved whoever into college today, all this stuff. They're excited, all this stuff. And I'm like, they're all moving in. And here's the one, he hasn't even chosen where he's going to go yet. And the classes are starting. Like, they're all moving in. He's like, I'll see where I want to go. Then I guess I will have to move in at some point eventually. But it's just funny to think here's one guy who's still visiting colleges to decide where he's going to go this year while every other college student in America is moving in to start classes.
I know, it's comical. He just like reclassified 2 weeks ago. But here's the thing. Not all student athletes are treated the same or should be treated the same. I mean, you think they are. You could just throw them into a blanket, but you can't. Not when you have these elites, whether it be basketball or football or even another sport, but mostly football, basketball, elite prospects. They are just treated differently, and they are differently, quite frankly.
This hour of the program is brought to you by Action 24/7. They are the local sports book here in the state of Tennessee, owned and operated by Tennesseans for Tennesseans. And when you sign up and make your first deposit, they give you some free money. They'll give you a lot of free money. They'll match your first deposit 100% up to $400. So you can turn $400 into $800 just like that with your first deposit at Action 24/7. Plus, they're giving new users even more opportunities at free money. If you bet $5 on any NFL preseason game, you'll win $150 if there's a touchdown. This week, bet $5 on any Major League Baseball game. You'll win $150 if there's a strikeout in the game. They're just giving you free money. Football's just around the corner, and they want everybody to be ready. So get signed up with Action 24/7. Go to the website, action247.com. Just download the app to your phone and be ready to go with the folks at Action 24/7.
Aaron Rodgers definitely would have taken the Jeopardy job, according to Aaron Rodgers. Well, that Jeopardy job
may be open after all. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Get your day off to a great start with Peter Edmiston and Anthony Sane on Sports 56 mornings. Weekdays from 7 to 10 on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hey everybody, it is so cool to see all these new All-Star Edition Silverado trucks at All-Star Chevrolet today. And they have so many certified pre-owned Chevys. If it's a Chevy you want this fall, Olive Branch is where you want to be. And if you have a car or truck to sell, All-Star will buy it even if you owe on it. So bring the title and get your check today. Remember, it's not South Haven, not Collierville, not Mount Moriah or the Pike. It's got to be Olive Branch, people. So find new roads to All-Star Chevrolet or go to allstarautogroup.com.
Hey, if you're hungry for great Mexican food for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, got it. La Guadalupana. Guadalupana. Choose from tacos, burritos, enchiladas, sizzling shrimp, beef, or chicken fajitas, and even a Cuban sandwich filled with Mexican sauces, chicken, ham, steak, jalapenos, avocado, and more. How about super nachos topped with melted cheese, beans, sour cream, guacamole, tomato, and jalapenos? All great with nice cold beer, domestic and imported. Good prices, generous portions, great service at 2 locations, Summer Avenue and Cordova Road. La Guadalupana.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Guns & Ammo has a full line of Pro Shot products, a tremendous selection of accessories from belts, holsters, gun cases, specialty boxes, Benchmade knives, and assorted optics. At Guns & Ammo, enjoy selecting all your favorite firearms, from hunting supplies to target shooting to self-defense. Experience the excellence at Guns & Ammo with a friendly, knowledgeable staff and hundreds of guns to choose from. Guns & Ammo, 3615 Summer Avenue, Memphis local, and supporting the NRA and Friends of the NRA. Guns & Ammo, family owned since 1985.
Hey, Mid-South, are you ready to trade up to a Kia sales event at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah?
We're ready, Randy, with the best ride you'll ever drive. 2021 Kia Forte LXS, we Gossett at $249 a month. 2022 Kia Soul GT, it's ready to ride at $305 a month.
And Jeff Allen, I hear you've got American-made 2022 Kia K5, now $379 a month. And every Gossett Kia comes with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty program.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah, 2680 Mount Moriah, or KiaMountMoriah.com.
You heard the man, Jeff Allen. Don't miss the trade up to a Kia sales event at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah. All $29.99 due at signing, all 72 months at 2.9 APR sold in 715-1544, MSRP 24,200, K5NG 103,647, MSRP 28,985, Forte LXS, MSRP 20,590, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 695, must finance through Kia on low APR, excludes tax, title, and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 8/31/2021. Dealer stock only.
Like a coin in your mint, I am dented.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays. This hour is brought to you by Action247.com. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Take me to the pilot for control. Take me to the pilot of your soul.
You can't make this stuff up. You can't make it up. Mike Richards, not Michael Richards, the guy who played Kramer on Seinfeld, whose career went down the sewer after going on stage at a comedy store and the racial things he said and all that. His career was torpedoed. Mike Richards was the executive producer of Jeopardy for years. And so they just named him the main host of Jeopardy. And then they named, what's Blossom's?
Mayim Bialik.
Mayim Bialik, who I loved. I thought she did a great job as kind of the daytime. But Mike Richards
Nighttime. She would do primetime specials.
She would do primetime specials. He would be the Trebek.
Yes.
Right. 9 days after he was tapped to succeed Trebek, he's out. What they did was they went back, and they always find what you did years ago, and they found that this guy had an 8-year-old podcast series where he made a bunch of unflattering and downright ugly remarks on his podcast. And so he's out. He will remain the show's executive producer, though. So it wasn't bad enough, his history of saying things that were derogatory to knock him out of his regular job. But he's out as host, which brings up now Jeopardy, once again, needs to replace Alex Trebek. And so Aaron Rodgers, he wasn't asked today, but Aaron Rodgers was asked recently by Adam Shine on Sirius XM radio if he would have taken the job if offered. And Aaron Rodgers said he would have taken the job. But the caveat is as long as they were able to work around his football schedule with the schedule of taping the programs.
Which they were never going to do.
They were never going to do that. But the fact that this guy, he's been around that show forever. You would think that you would vet the guy, and he gets the gig, and now it blows up in Jeopardy's face. So what else is available? I think this is a slam dunk. I think LeVar Burton should be named the Jeopardy host. I love her, unless Bialik can do it as the prime host, as the main host. I don't know, because I thought she was great. I thought she was the best, and I watched a bunch of them. But I think this is LeVar Burton. And if not, because one thing is, moving up the guy that was waiting in the wings, although he was on the producing side of things. That's what.
This was basically him picking himself.
Right, but he had to get, he had to be green. Yeah, but he had to be greenlit by not only the production company but by the hires up at the.
No, I know, but this wasn't like the guy they've been grooming for the job. This was a guy that he's always wanted to host a game show, and then he had a chance because basically he was in position to really make himself the host.
They thought he was good enough to do it, or they would not have done it. That's the point. What I'm saying is, okay, you could almost, all right, we understand that. It's like, he might not be waiting in the wings particularly for that job, but once Alex got sick, it was like, well, maybe this guy's. Long story short, if LeVar Burton doesn't get the gig now, I think there's going to be a lot of irate people. Now, I don't know if he has any baggage, for goodness sakes. Every time they find these pasts, whether it be on social media or whether it be from a previous relationship, some sort of thing always comes up and bites these people in the butt. But LeVar Burton seems to be the call right now, I would think, to take over. But it's just interesting that Aaron Rodgers, who, again, is not going anywhere with his football career, said, yeah, I'd do that, but they'd have to work around my schedule.
So we got a text here on the AutoZone text line at 901-360-8255. I assume this is addressed to me, although they call me Leroy, which I'm fine. You can call me Leroy. I think Leroy is a great name, so I am fine being called Leroy if you want to call me Leroy. Says, check out Dana Altman's first 10 years as a coach. Good coach? ? Not at first. No, yeah, at Marshall and Kansas State, and then to Creighton his first few years, he didn't make any NCAA tournaments. Now he goes to the NCAA tournament every year, and he advances in the NCAA tournament about every year. That was my point. I understand what Greg was saying. I was just saying, making the point, let's not act like Oregon has some goofy coach that has never done anything.
Well said, Leroy.
Again, I'm fine being called Leroy.
Jenkins.
Sometimes I think of myself as a Leroy.
My favorite Leroy, probably Leroy Kelly. former running back with the Cleveland Browns. Was fantastic.
My favorite Leroy.
Leroy Jenkins.
I don't even know that I know a Leroy. Can't even think of a Leroy right now.
Bad Leroy Brown.
Baddest, Leroy Brown.
Baddest man in the whole damn town.
When I think of myself as a Leroy, that's the Leroy I think of myself as. I really think of myself as Leroy Brown. What other athletes have the name Leroy?
Was there a Leroy Keys? I'm trying to remember with the Eagles when I was a kid if there was a Leroy Keys. I may be wrong about that, but there's definitely Leroy Kelly. He was a really good player. Leroy Keys.
Leroy Selman? Leroy Selman?
Dewey and Leroy Selman. Yeah, Leroy Selman, Hall of Famer. Leroy Keys, football player. How about it? I continue to amaze myself. I can't remember what I had for dinner last night, but I can remember something from like 1970.
Leroy Butler?
There's another good one.
Right,
All of a sudden, there's like a million football players. But I still go with the fictional Leroy Brown probably at the top. Thank you, Jim Croce. When we come back, hour 2 of the program, John Varlas will be joining us to talk prep football. Big schedule. Tons of games tonight and tomorrow. We'll get the lowdown from John. And then at 11:30, we talk Grizzlies with Michael Wallace. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hurry, hurry, hurry. Step right up and save money like never before at the Sunrise Chevy Big Top 10 event. See high prices disappear before your very eyes. Huge discounts and factory rebates up to $6,000. Bankrupt, slow pay, divorce, it's okay. The Sunrise Chevy team has over $500 million available for immediate financing and wants to get you financed. An $18 million used car inventory specializing in cars and trucks that are $10,000. See them all at sunrisememphis.com. The Sunrise Chevy tent sale in Collierville. Find new roads to Collierville, partner.
RS Financial Group and Orion Federal Credit Union present the 2021 World Championship Hot Wing Contest, August 28th at Tiger Lane, featuring the South Hall Cafe's World Wing Series. Earn a spot to compete for $25,000. Go to worldwingfest.com. August 28th, mark the date for the World Championship Hot Wing Contest and Festival at Tiger Lane. Live bands, $10,000 in cash prizes, presented by Orion Federal Credit Union, RS Financial Group, benefiting Ronald McDonald House Charities of Memphis. Go to worldwingfest.com.
This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Mark's Bensdorf Realtors. When I talk to people about selling their homes or buying one, my motto is stick to your game plan. I learned this from my friend Coach Terry Tippett. Coach, you didn't go into a game without having a plan, did you?
No, Sheldon. Having a plan was critical to the success of all my teams.
That's right, Coach. Sticking to your game plan helped you win 4 state championships.
That's wrong, Sheldon. It was 6, just like the number of shots you make on a par 3.
Well, Coach, we've played golf together. What advice can you give me about my game?
You probably need to stick to real estate, as you're much better at doing that. Or perhaps bowling.
Great advice about real estate, not bowling. And as I always tell people, if they're thinking of selling their home, talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers and let me be one of them. As they often say, when you want the job done, Coach, who should they call?
Sheldon, of course.
You can reach me at 682-1868 or memphisrelocate.com. That's 682-1868 or memphisrelocate.com.
Hi, I'm Tito Beveridge, founder and master distiller at Tito's Handmade Vodka. In 1997, I started the first micro distillery in the state of Texas with my dog, Dog Joe, at my side. We're still working with dogs out at the distillery after all these years. Learn more about how dogs are a part of life here at Tito's Handmade Vodka at vodkafordogpeople.com. Tito's Handmade Vodka is made from corn and naturally gluten-free. Cheers. 80 proof Tito's Handmade Vodka, distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. Tito'sVodka.com.
I'm Dr. George Flynn, Chairman of the Board of Flynn Broadcasting. Other stations might consider you to be a listener. I don't, and we don't. You are a family member, and I want the best for you and your family. So please get vaccinated against COVID. It saves hospitalizations and can save your life. I've had 3 rounds of vaccines on clinical trials with no side effects other than maybe a sore arm for 24 hours. I want to protect you, my family, and would never suggest something that might harm you. Please get vaccinated and feel safe in knowing you've done your part to beat COVID-19. I care about you, so please get vaccinated. All of us at Flynn Broadcasting want to keep you healthy, so please get vaccinated.
Mid-South, the time is now to trade up to a Kia sales event at Gossett Kia on Covington Pike. You want to ride with 41 MPG Highway? We Gossett 2021 Kia Rio $249 a month. You want 0% at $282 a month? We Gossett with 2021 Kia Forte. And all-weather rugged 2022 Kia Seltos $332 a month. Plus peace of mind with Kia's 10-year 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Trade up and get top dollar at Gossett Kia 1900 Covington Pike or shop 24/7 at KiaCovingtonPike.com. Ask for Bobby J. He'll put you in a new Kia today.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All $29.99 due at signing. Rio ME 418 570 60 at 0.9% APR. MSRP 17.2. Forte ME 393 458 60 at 0%. MSRP 19,940. Celtos N 724 9948 66 at 1.9%. MSRP 23,910. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Valid through 8/31/2021. Dealer stock only. Must finance through Kia on APR offer.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports 56 Middays. This hour of Sports 56 Middays is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
We welcome you back to Sports 56 Middays, hour number 2. The Friday, August 20th, 2021 edition. John Varlas will join us in just a second. You got Greg, Eli, and Gabe in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40. Second hour of the program is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers, and every Monday and Friday they bring you the Memphis Sports Fact. Did you know Shelby County and area schools produced 0 state football titles in Tennessee last season? Of course, that's a little misleading because the public schools did not play. The last local school to win a TSSAA state football championship was the year prior, 2019, when the title was won by ECS. James Gaddis Jewelers, 4900 Poplar, between Mendenhall and St. Elmo. On the web at gaddisjewelers.com. You can call them at 901-767-9648. When you stop by, when you call, tell them you heard it here on Sports 56 Middays. They are your bridal engagement and anniversary jeweler headquarters. It's James Gaddis Jewelers. It's time now for John Varlas.
It's time to talk some high school sports on Sports 56 Middays. Joining Greg and Eli is John Varlas from the Daily Memphian. Check out John's prep coverage at dailymemphian.com. Now, here's John with Greg and Eli.
There must be some kind of way out of here.
JV joining us in studio. You ready to rock and roll?
I am, Greg. Thank you.
Good to have you as always, man. I know it started last night, but tonight, a lot of games on tap. By the way, last night, Covington-Munford, did they play the game, and what was the result?
Yeah, Covington and Munford did play. Covington played extremely well, actually. They won the game 41-8. I think, I think that really sets a good marker for Covington. You know, they had such a disappointing finish to the year last year. You know, they had reached the playoffs, they were ready to go, and then all of a sudden, you know, on the eve of their second-round playoff game, you know, they got thrown out because of, you know, the coronavirus issue.
Right.
So, yeah, they started really strong last night. I mean, they did what Covington does. They ran for 468 yards. You know, Jamarian Dowell had 200 yards. Jalen Fain had 120 yards. I mean, they just ground and pound like they always do. Started really well. And, yeah, I mean, really, really good performance from Covington out of the box last night. Against a good team, too, by the way. Munford should be pretty good this year.
I remember you talking about them last week.
Yeah.
That's good to get Covington out of the way right away. Then so we have nipped John's text to the bud. He doesn't have to text it today. We've already taken care of Covington up front.
Well, I didn't know. I looked at John's schedule. He sends me, and I appreciate John sending me the schedule every week. And I looked and go, "Oh, Covington-Munford played last night." And I know we talked about both those schools last week, so I wanted to make sure we got that result. Anything else that happened last night that was surprising?
Not surprising. It was fun to go out to Melrose and see the Moz game against Mace, the Charter Schools Classic. It was not a great game.
It wasn't competitive
aesthetically. Yeah, Mace is down. Their coach Julius Jackson, in fact, told me when I sent out my preseason questionnaires and stuff, he said, "Hey, JV, we're going to be down. We got mostly freshmen. We don't have a lot of experience, and and that's going to be the case for a lot of these SES people this year." But that being said, Maz, and I know I've talked about them with you guys last week. I've talked about them on some statewide, radio programs. They're going to be really, really good this year into a really good. I mean, this
Cam Miller, right?
Cam Miller, yeah, the Tennessee commitment. He scored 3 touchdowns last night and limited action. I mean, he didn't have very many touches at all. But they've got a kid named Charles Perkins, and here is a situation, Greg, where that really hurt the kids last year, like Charles Perkins not being able to play. I mean, here's a kid who's like 6'2", 6'3", 245-pound defensive end, just an absolute unblockable beast of a football player. I mean, just a motor that doesn't quit, just, strong, determined, everything you would want in kind of a hybrid linebacker, defensive end type of player. But he doesn't have any offers, and it's because, there was no film on him last year, no game tape, no nothing like that. And this is a kid that could easily play somewhere. And in fact, I got a text on the way over here from Coach Miller after last night. He picked up his first offer from Campbell University. So now the offers are going to start coming in now that they've got, actual verifiable, stuff that they can see on this kid. And there's lots of Charles Perkinses out there. And I hope that, one of the benefits of playing this year is going to be to get, opportunities for these kids.
Yeah, that's the one thing about last year that was really disappointing for that is that there were probably some kids that may have been able to impress in a senior year and maybe get an offer, and they weren't given that opportunity. So last week we teased the fact that you were going to have your preseason poll coming out, and you do start with Christian Brothers at number 1, and we get a great matchup tomorrow night because you got your number 1 team in Christian Brothers taking on your number 5 team in Germantown tomorrow night over at Christian Brothers. Again, Germantown, one of those teams that didn't play last year with Gene Robinson taking over. Now, finally, officially, I guess, gets to start his first year as the head coach at Germantown. I will let people know we will not have the Christian Brothers games on the radio this year. I will be calling the games as part of their video stream that you'll be able to get through the Christian Brothers website. So you'll get the video broadcast of it. We will not have the games on the radio, but I'm looking forward to this game tomorrow night, John. What do you expect in that one?
I'm looking forward to it too. Yeah, obviously, I mean it's two great teams, two traditional programs, two rivals that haven't met since 2014. Really well coached, like you say. I'm excited to see what Gene's going to do over at Germantown. Coming in, bringing in some new energy and some new enthusiasm and some new life into that program. But that being said, Christian Brothers, I think they're number 1 in the preseason for a reason. To me, the most important things you look at in high school: running back, which they have in Dallin Hayden; quarterback, which they have in Ashton Struther, who's going to be starting for his 3rd year; and then an offensive line with Patrick Kudus, who's committed to Arkansas, and Ben Cavanis, and some other guys. I mean, Christian Brothers is never going to be short of bodies on the offensive line. So, in those 3 phases of the game, I think they're going to be really strong. I think the question for Christian Brothers may be in the secondary and maybe the defense in general. Germantown's going to counter with some really good skill guys. Cody Jones, who's committed to Michigan. A kid, Eli, you're going to want to pay attention to for Germantown is number 1, this kid named Marion Claybrooks. He's another kid, kind of in that Charles Perkins mode. If he had played last year, Claybrooks would probably have a lot of attention going into the season as well. Claybrooks is really, really good at defensive end. They have a young quarterback at Germantown who's going to be making his first start. And, the problem with Germantown, like a lot of these SCS teams, is there's just not going to be a lot of in-game experience. But, having said that, they're extremely, extremely talented. And I'm expecting a good close game with, Christian Brothers may be having a slight advantage.
That's tomorrow night. Also, tomorrow is the Whitehaven Classic. That'll be a triple header. And then you have one other game, I think, on the schedule for Saturday, Middle College at Oak Haven. But the bulk of the week's games are tonight. We'll go over a few, and then I'll ask you if, there's some games that we haven't talked about that you want to talk about. But Arlington at MUS always an interesting matchup between a public school and a private school.
I'm excited to see what MUS is going to bring to the table, Greg. Their quarterback is coming back too, which is another reason I had them rated very highly. George Hamsley played a lot last year. He's a big kid, 6'5", got a really good arm. He's got some good receivers to work with. Mac Owen, Clarkson Schoaf, both of those guys were excellent last year. They both averaged, over 20 yards per catch last year. They've got a good running back coming back as well, Hunter Barnes, Kyler Herring, and is a really, really good offensive lineman, 295-pound kid who's committed to Davidson. And they've got some other, veterans coming back on the O-line. The kid, though, that I'm excited to see for MUS, and I think, the buzz around him in the high school community is a kid named Joakim Dodson. And if the name Dodson is familiar to you, that's Damian Dodson's son.
How about that?
He is a freshman, and he's expected to play a good bit for MUS. And, those of people listening to us know that, if you just don't walk into a program like MUS and play as a freshman. But I think, Joe is going to play this year, and I think he's going to actually make an impact for this team. I mean, I've been hearing about this kid for a couple of years now. He's just supposed to be really, really, really promising and talented. And, obviously he's got the good genes with his dad being one of the best receivers that ever came out of the city.
What about Arlington?
Arlington, they're going to be rebuilding this year. They've got a new coach over there, Vic Shivers. He's coming over from Fayette Academy. For a 6A school, their numbers are down a little bit. Their size is down a little bit. So it's a rebuilding year for Arlington, okay. and so I'm looking for MUS to probably get the W tonight and get their season going on a good note.
Your number 2 team is Lausanne. They get Southwind tonight, right?
Yeah, and again, broken record, but quarterback coming back, Brock Glenn, who is a junior who has offers from some. What do they call the schools outside the Power Five? The Group of Six. He's got Group of Six offers.
Group of Five.
Group of Five. Yeah. Cincinnati, Memphis. People like those.
Really?
Yeah, he's got offers from those people. Strong arm, smart kid. Really good leader, can make all the throws. So Brock's going to be outstanding this year. Their running back Craig Cunningham is back for his senior year. Craig's a terrific running back. He backed up Eric Gray as a freshman, and obviously he's not Eric Gray, and who is, but Craig is an outstanding high school running back. They've got some receivers. They've got, good size up front. Depth secondary ought to be really good at Lausanne. So yeah, they should be really, really good this year and competitive in Division II AA.
Bartlett will host Pure Youth. Bartlett was fantastic last year. Pure Youth obviously had some games, but the whole season was disrupted. We had Tevin Carter on the show yesterday. He's the quarterback for Pure Youth. He is eager and ready to go for this season. Is this one going to be?
They said they'll try to put up 60 tonight.
Yeah, is this one going to be and again, you look at it and you go, wow, Bartlett was coming off such a great year. What do you think for tonight?
That's kind of an intriguing matchup, and I hope a lot of the Tiger fans make it out to Bartlett and check out their future quarterback in action. It's going to be fun to see what Tevin will do against a good 6A program like Bartlett. It's interesting with Bartlett. They just lost so much from last year's team, but Lance Tucker is an excellent coach. The whole staff over there does a terrific job. And looking at, some of the personnel they have coming back, even though it's inexperienced, it's not bad. I mean, they've still got players. They're just inexperienced, and they've just got to get these guys up to speed a little bit. But I expect Bartlett to be competitive. I expect a really good game over there, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. But, getting back to Tevin, I mean, that was a great interview you guys had with him.
Thank you.
Yeah, he's just so much fun, so outgoing and bubbly and enthusiastic. When I interviewed him a couple of weeks ago, he told me he liked, I asked him what he would do outside of football, and he said bugs. And I said, excuse me. And he's like, yeah, I like to kill bugs, and I'd like to have a pest control business one day. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I gave him the nickname the Exterminator.
Sure,
That's a weird thing for a high school kid to say. Like that's the last thing you would expect for a high school kid to say. Talking about killing bugs.
Yeah, it is. But he's I mean, that's it. He's open and honest and friendly. I mean, he'll just tell you what he thinks. And I mean, that's a great interview and a great kid. So, yeah, I love Tevin, rooting for all success for him. And hope he has a great senior season. He's worked hard for it.
What about Central and Cordova?
That's going to be a fun game. Central has so many athletes. I mean, they are so fast over over there. Quincy Briggs, Donovan Hunt, Michael Higgins. I mean, those guys ran on the state championship relay teams at Spring Fling. I mean, you know, they've got a running back, this kid named Thornton, who's supposed to be really, really good this year. Again, another kid that, you know, probably would have had more attention had he played last year. So I'm expecting good things from Central, dropping down from 6A to 5A. Cordova, again, they're kind of like Arlington. They're in a little bit of a rebuilding mode in 6A. You know, maybe the numbers and the bodies aren't there like the Whitehavens of the world, but, you know, Cordova's always going to be competitive. Marcus Wimberly's one of our very best coaches, won a state championship at East in 2016. So, you know, that's going to be a good competitive game over there at Cordova.
Who was the really good kid that was at Central a couple years ago?
Oh, I'm drawing a blank.
I am too. I can't.
You talking about Cameron Clear? Was he the 1 year, the tight end?
Well, Cameron Clear was about 10 years ago.
Well, okay.
Yeah, there was 2 years he played because Christian Brothers played him, and I can't think of the kid's name.
Oh, do you remember what position he played?
He was like a receiver and defensive back.
Oh.
He was going somewhere big. I'm drawing a complete blank on that.
I'm drawing a complete dude. Text us in, text line.
Yeah.
Somebody will know. Somebody will know that.
360-8255 on the AutoZone text line. All right, we had the 2 games that were canceled, and then one of the games coming out of those 4 teams that was I don't even know how to describe it, but you had who? Kirby? No, not Kirby. Kingsbury and Raleigh, Egypt, right? And then you had Wooddale and Collierville, and then they made a game out of that.
Right.
Collierville will host Wooddale?
No, Collierville will host Raleigh, Egypt.
Raleigh, Egypt. Okay.
It's a situation where Wooddale kind of decided, and I don't know who it was over at Wooddale, but they made the decision to not go to Collierville tonight based on, you know, kind of the news reports and things like that of, you know, the number of positive tests over at Collierville.
Oh, so it didn't come through Wooddale. Mm-mm. It's because of the
I mean, it was a Wooddale decision.
But it was because of the Collierville. Right. There's a number of positive tests in the Collierville school system.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what.
Gotcha.
That's what the Collierville communications person reported to us. It was Wooddale's decision to forfeit and not come. So that obviously left Collierville with an opening, and Raleigh Egypt wasn't able to play Kingsbury. So Raleigh Egypt said, yeah, we want to play. We'll go to Collierville. So, yeah, they're going to get together and play, and I think that's great for both schools because I know those kids are ready to play after, you know, practicing all summer long. So, you know, let's get together and get after it.
So Kingsbury and Wooddale will get losses in the schedule?
No.
Or they'll get no contests?
No, they will get nothing. Yeah, according to here's how it works for the TSSAA. If it's a coronavirus-related forfeit, the team that has to forfeit does not take a loss, but the team that had nothing, quote unquote, wrong,
right,
gets a win. So that's how it works.
Oh, so no loss, but you get the win. The other team gets the win.
Right.
Again, wussification of America.
These things are so confusing. I'll be so happy we don't have to deal with these things anymore.
See, I love that. You know, the college, almost every conference, if not all the conferences now, you can't go, and it's your fault. You don't have enough players. You get the loss. The other team gets the win. All right, real quick, let's rapid fire with a couple of other games that are on the docket. ECS has to go to Ensworth. What it will be like for their first game?
Going to be really tough because Ensworth is big and physical, and ECS is replacing its entire offensive line except for one player. I mean, Jalen Greenwood is still one of the best running backs in the state, but you know, this might be a tough trip for ECS tonight.
When will Melrose, or will they ever get back to what they were? When I got here in 95, just that community, that team, they got White Station, another team that has been perennially good. That normally, you look at that matchup, White Station and Melrose, it would be like maybe the first thing you would talk about years ago. What about that?
You would be. Let me give a shout out to the White Station flute section tonight, which I know is going to do great. My niece is in the band.
Well, there you go.
So yeah, but yeah, I actually had a good talk about Melrose last night at the game with one of the Melrose dads, and it's a lot of things factoring into it. It's the school not being as you know, enrollment dropping from previous numbers. It's, you know, it's a succession of you know, coaches that, you know, maybe didn't. Coaches, and now with Cedric Wilson over there, he's a Melrose alum. I mean, he knows what it's like to be there during their glory days. You know, hopefully he can turn it around. I mean, I'm hearing lots of positive things about Melrose, but, you know, schools like Melrose and, you know, people like Ridgeway, Kirby, people like that. It's just going to be tough to compete going forward, simply because of, enrollment issues. You're losing schools. You're losing students to charter schools. You're losing them to privates. You're losing them, to the suburban schools that have, magnificent facilities like Bartlett and Collierville. It's just going to be tough going forward.
Darren Turner. Who's in Arkansas.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
That was the one.
Was that one of our listeners helping out, or did you look it up?
That was my investigative skills on the internet.
Good job.
He was a good player.
And then finally, and I know you talked about St. Benedict, Joey Magnifico in his first year. Do they have a chance to go up to Brighton and win? I don't know how good the Cardinals are.
Brighton's pretty good. They were pretty good last year. They got a lot of got a lot of guys coming back. Nick Harville is a really good quarterback, and Braxton Sharp is a pretty good little running back. Brighton's really good. Going up there's going to be a challenge, and it's going to be a challenge for Joey this year. Like we talked about last week, not only having to deal locally with Briarcrest, MUS, and Christian Brothers, but Brentwood Academy and Innsworth have come into the league, so it's going to be tough.
And again, no games yet in Mississippi
next week.
How about Arkansas?
I
think next week as well.
Probably so. Yeah, I'm not sure.
So it's
Jamboree's in Mississippi this week, though.
Oh, there's Jamborees?
Yeah.
For all the updated information on the games, on stats, I don't know how John does it by himself, but he is unbelievable. Of course, he needs your help often. He can't be at every place. You can only be at one place. But, John, you need to follow him if you care anything about prep football, and I know a lot of you do, at John Varlas. And then, of course, read all his great stories at the Daily Memphian. What game will you be at?
Well, like I was telling Eli, it's literally going to be a game-time decision because I may have to alter some plans based on some things I'm going to do after I leave here. So it's literally going to be a game time decision. But
mysterious John Varlas.
I'll tweet it out there, and and I'll give you guys updates from wherever I am. But yeah,
you're the man. By the way, once again, I have to say it every week. He does this off the top of his head. There are no notes. And he knows all these kids' names and stats. He amazes me.
You will be at Christian Brothers tomorrow night?
Absolutely. Now that is a fact. If I'm walking and breathing, I will be there bright and early. And
And the good news, you don't even have me on that end of the press box this year. You'll
have more room.
You'll have more room.
There's less of John, but I'll have more room.
I'm going to miss you, Eli. Because
I'm down the other end.
Well, you do such a good job, and you actually help me with identifying names and numbers and stuff. So I'm definitely going to miss that. But yeah, Imani Bates. How do you get to be a really, really good basketball player and all you eat is Pringles and Skittles? He's a junk food hero. I don't know how. Is this par for the course? Obviously, I've never been a world-class athlete, but is that par for the course?
Well, you were a high school kid. You had snacks when you were a high school kid.
You don't want to walk into your hotel room on your official visit or any visit at all, and there's like a can of niblets or something or some asparagus. No, you take the junk food and you run with it.
That's the thing. That's what I ate when I was a high school kid, but as a result, I wasn't Imani Bates. I wasn't, I wasn't.
There's not too many that are Imani Bates.
I wasn't a walk-on. I wasn't,
It happens to the best of us. Thank you, John.
Okay, guys.
Appreciate that. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, Michael Wallace joins us on the Grizzlies. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Get happy with Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio. Weekday afternoons from 1 to 3 on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hey, Mid-South, are you ready to trade up to a Kia sales event at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah?
We're ready, Randy, with the best ride you'll ever drive. 2021 Kia Forte LXS, we got it at $249 a month. 2022 Kia Soul GT, it's ready to ride at $305 a month.
And Jeff Allen, I hear you've got American-made 2022 Kia K5, now $379 a month. And every Gossett Kia comes with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty program.
So whether you live in Horton Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah, 2680 Mount Moriah, or KiaMountMoriah.com.
You heard the man, Jeff Allen. Don't miss the trade up to a Kia sales event at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah. All $29.99 due at signing, all 72 months at 2.9 APR sold in 715-1544 MSRP 24,200 K5NG 103,647 MSRP 28,985 Forte LXS MSRP 20,590 includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 must finance through Kia on low APR. Excludes tax, title, and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 8/31/2021. Dealer stock only.
Hi, this is Troy Five-Ash, owner of Five-Ash Roof Services. You've heard me talk about how we offer the best products, the best warranties, and the best services for years. Now let's talk about pricing. Pricing should never be the only reason you hire a contractor, but in today's world, pricing is always a consideration. So we suggest you get 2 or 3 estimates for your roof replacement from a reputable, licensed, and insured company, and then give us a call. If we can't beat your best price for a comparable roof system by more than $100, we'll give you $100. It's that simple. We are so sure we can offer you the best price, beating all other qualified companies. We will hand you $100 if we can't, and thank you for the opportunity. So give us a call. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? Make $100? Five-Ash Roof Services, a proud supporter of Tiger Athletics and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Five-Ash Roof Services, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or MemphisRoofer.com.
Five-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company, we have it all. From handmade Amish leather belts, fine and casual clothing, boots, casual boots, work boots, fancy boots, and even safety-toed boots. Lots of cowboy hats to choose from, even Nebo lights, Orco hard coolers, good-looking duck head dress shirts, duck head caps, shorts, and pants. Tons of jeans from Ariat, Wrangler, Devil Dog, and Kimes Ranch jeans. At Hewlett & Dunn, we have a great selection of Old South t-shirts and caps. Fine clothing from dress to casual to Sunday best. Enjoy choosing from UFO's orthopedic-approved shoes. Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company. Boots of every size, every color, every skin. Great quality Western, work, and safety toe boots. Hewlett & Dunn Boots and Clothing Company. 111 North Center Street, Collierville. Hewlett & Dunn. Hewlett & Dunn, serving you and your family since 1961.
The bridge is open. Now it's really easy to take the 15-minute drive to Cypress View Golf and Recreation and enjoy the spectacular upgrades made to the clubhouse and golf course. The fairways are looking great and the greens are better than ever. No traffic, no excuses. If you're tired of paying greens and cart fees, Cypress View has a membership that includes unlimited golf, cart, range balls, and more. A family membership is just $199 per month plus tax. Members also have access to the Olympic-sized pool, fitness center, and tennis courts. The golf shop is stocked with FootJoy apparel, Titleist bags, and equipment. A huge selection of Puka headwear and more. Cypress View Grill has a wide selection of choices from burgers to brats, Phillies to quesadillas, flatbreads to oven-fired pizzas. You're covered from golf to goods to grub. And now Cypress View has a beer license, so grab a cold one in the grill. See why Cypress View Golf and Recreation is one of the fastest growing clubs in the Mid-South. Call 870-739-6305 or visit online cypressviewgolf.com.
AC trouble? Call Air Doctors of Memphis, 901-598-HVAC. Owner Matt Davis is a third-generation full-service air conditioning specialist. Air Doctors of Memphis services all major brands, and labor and parts are guaranteed 100%. Their yearly AC checkup is only $60. Then this year, Air Doctors is the official HVAC contractor for St. Jude Dream House. Air Doctors installed the St. Jude Dream House new Train high-efficiency equipment. Get your service from the best. AirDoctorsOfMemphis.com. Call 901-598-HVAC.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays. This hour of Sports 56 Middays is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
We did get a text here on the AutoZone text line at 901-360-8255. Somebody asks us, isn't Christian Brothers dealing with a lot of injuries on defense? Yeah, Christian Brothers is beat up going into this opener tomorrow night. They've had some COVID problems as well as just injuries of some guys who are going to be out for a couple of weeks probably. And a lot of that is on the defensive side of the ball. They are going to be a little bit shorthanded for tomorrow night's game against Germantown.
What do you think about the teams that did not play at all last year? And John touched on that a little bit as well. as we talked about, the tape for the kids. Obviously, they didn't have anything to show colleges. But as far as being ready to go, they've had their camps now. They practiced in August. They had their jamborees. Now they're ready to go here in late August to start their seasons. Do you think are they behind the teams that played last year, or does that not matter since that was last year?
To be.
Okay.
I mean, because you're going to have, kids who this year are seniors who last year as juniors may have been really getting playing time for the first time, and they didn't get that. Or so you've lost a whole class here. So I think, you're going to be that much more inexperienced because it's been 2 years since you played. So I think absolutely you have to be behind the teams that all of those kids got a chance to get some experience last year.
Michael Wallace is scheduled to join us here in the next few moments from Grind City Media. Brad Logan at 12:05 on college football, and we'll do 10 in a row. The game show that has swept the nation. That'll be coming your way at 12:30. The Northern Trust is underway, round number 2. That's the first playoff event for the FedEx Cup. And again, next year, the Northern Trust becomes the FedEx St. Jude Championships, as it will be the first playoff event going forward starting next year, and we'll have it here in Memphis. But Tony Finau and John Rahm are your co-leaders at 11 under par. Finau is 7 under on his round today through 15. Rahm shot a 63 yesterday and is 3 under through 15 on his round today. So Finau and Rahm at 11 under. Keith Mitchell at 9 under. Wasn't Keith Mitchell involved in the Phil Mickelson bet?
Yes. Yep.
So he's 2 off the pace. Justin Thomas, who's even today, he shot 63 yesterday. He's at 8 under, as is Kevin Na and Alex Noren, the Northern Trust. All right, so we're waiting on Mike to talk some Grizzlies and a lot of things to talk to him about. In the meantime, if you want to hit us up on the AutoZone text line, 360-8255. AutoZone phone line is the same number, 901-360-8255.
So I was looking at this, the Leroys in the world of sports. The name Leroy has really been phased out of the world of sports. And really, because somebody texted in Leroy Jordan.
Oh yeah, Leroy Jordan, right?
But like he and Selman were both, they were Lee Roys, 2 words, not the Leroy, like Leroy, one name. So I started looking through like the basketball reference and stuff. Like Leroys haven't been around basically in sports for like there used to be quite a few back in like the 50s and 40s, but now like we don't see any we don't have any more Leroys in sports.
Yeah, I don't care how they spell it or even if they break it down with 2 names as opposed to 1, but why? Why is there not a nice run on Leroys? What's wrong with Leroy?
Like in Major League Baseball, there were in the 30s, 40s, there were like a lot of Leroys. And the last Leroy we had was 1978 in Major League Baseball.
How about that?
Now, and again, I'm only looking for the Leroys. I didn't look for the Lee space ROYs.
I hear you.
But it's like, and then like basketball, you had one in the 50s, one in the 60s, a couple in the 60s, and the last one in basketball that shows up is 1984.
Last one in basketball, 84?
Leroy Combs. Well, only played in 1984.
I have no idea. Maybe Michael will have some knowledge of why we lost
in the world of sports.
The Leroys. By the way, John Rothstein reporting that Texas A&M's Buzz Williams has been suspended for 2 games for multiple violations within the Aggies program. They don't say anything specifically, but he will be suspended for 2 games. Without further ado, he is Michael Wallace, senior editor, contributor, and analyst for Grind City Media. You can follow him on Twitter at MyMikeCheck. It's always a pleasure to talk with Michael Wallace. Hey, Michael.
Hey, guys. Thanks a lot for having me again, man. It's always a pleasure to be on with you guys.
Always great to have you. All right, so we're contemplating this. I don't even know how we got started on this subject, but what was why did we start on this Leroy thing, Eli?
Because somebody called me Leroy on the text line.
That's right. So somebody on the text line called Eli Leroy. I don't know why he thought his name was Leroy. And then we started to think Leroy's in sports. And I go, well, I remember Leroy Kelly was fantastic. And we're coming up with a few others, Leroy Jordan, Leroy Selman. And then we can't think of any more. And then Eli just looks up 84 is the last time listed by an NBA player named Leroy. Why do you think we've gotten rid of the name Leroy?
Man, that is, you know what? That is a compelling question, too. I want to say somewhere along the lines I've heard of a Leroy Richardson, but I don't know if that was in sports or just the dude on the corner from where I grew up at or what. I don't know what it was. But a Leroy Richardson, rings a bell to me. So, yeah, you're right, man. We've gotten away from Leroy.
What's wrong with that name?
Quite a bit.
That's a great name.
Leroy Richardson is an NBA referee.
That's what it is.
He's a referee.
There we go.
So we do have a Leroy surviving in the NBA. He's just as a referee, not as a player.
There you go. 20 seconds into the show, I've already contributed. Man. It goes downhill from there.
Well, the Grizzlies have kept us very busy over the summer, and especially the last month with move after move, trade after trade, a very intriguing night with the NBA draft and who they took, and now the Summer League in the rear view mirror. So there's still a lot of things to be decided, Michael, as camp is only, about a month, 5-6 weeks away at most, and yet they're 2 over the allotted amount of players they can have contractually. They still have these moves to make. First, give me an overview of what their summer has been like in your opinion.
All right. So just from a logistical standpoint, NBA teams are allowed to carry 20 contract players, right? 20 is the maximum during the offseason, right? You can balloon your roster up to 20 players because teams assume you're going to be doing a lot of transitioning,
right?
With signing G League prospects and trading guys and bringing in free agents. So you can have your max at 20. Emerging from the preseason and training camp, that last day before the season starts, you got to get the rosters down to 15 regular contracts, and then you get 2 two-ways. So by the time the Grizzlies get to that point, you know what I mean, the roster will be, what it needs to be. It always ends up being that way. They always carry over. Most teams do, frankly, when it comes to that. But, you really got to look at it in totality, because I think if you do it incrementally, some things that happen might be a little bit puzzling, might be confusing. It may have made sense or not made sense on the surface, but then you come back and say, oh, I see how this broader picture sort of developed. And what I did yesterday is I thought about it. I said, if you told me that the Grizzlies would emerge from, and they still have some work to do, obviously, but if they're technically probably going to go into training camp, having made a trade that sent Jonas Valanciunas and Justice Winslow out, and they brought back Steven Adams. When you talk about that, Steven Adams and Jarrett Culver, you're talking plus an additional first-round pick, and you got into the lottery. I would say that's a win-win overall, because that's what all of these transactions boil down to. Steven Adams, Zaire Williams, and at the number 10 pick, an additional first-round pick in Santi Aldama, and then you get some more leverage and some more flexibility for free agency next year. Plus, you get Jarrett Culver, who was a lottery pick a couple years ago, couldn't really find his way in Minnesota, but is a nice project piece that you can develop right now with this young core. I think overall, man, you got to give the Grizzlies a good grade for that, because it's looking intriguing right now still.
With Zaire Williams, what do you Zach Kleiman has talked about the fact that this was more of a pick of the future. They understand he's not a guy probably that's going to come in right away and be a big part of this. But how do you kind of right now envision what his role will be this next season?
Oh, I mean, listen, this isn't, it's not like, people kind of, I think you heard that initially because you have to be, have some caution with a guy that's that young, who's played only one college season, who's displaced throughout that college season because Stanford never played a traditional home game. And so you say, yes, he's a project in and of itself, but at the end of the day, Jaren Jackson Jr. was under the same situation. He played one season at Michigan State, was one of the youngest players to come in from that draft. And, the expectation wasn't, any less of him when he came in. So I don't want to lower the bar too low for Zaire, because I think when you're 20, you're a year younger, a year and a half younger than the other two franchise cornerstones who have come in and have made immediate contributions despite their age. You know what I mean? So I do think he's going to be a contributor. I don't think he's going to be a guy that you put at the back of the rotation and barely play him. I think you have to play him because, again, at this stage, by the time he truly blossoms into who he needs to be, he's going to be toward the tail end of his rookie scale contract. You need to see something before it gets to that point. But I also think the Grizzlies are positioned now to not have to rush him into a starting role. He can be sort of that developer, the same way that Bane and Tillman sort of developed to being older college players coming in.
Look, I completely understand taking swings for the fences, especially with guys that could end up being home runs. I understand patience and things of that nature. It's hard to sell that all the time to fans. But when the Grizzlies are still trying to put their pieces together for the future and can be as competitive as they were last year, I think people can accept that. But I think they're setting it up for next offseason. You kind of alluded to the assets that they were able to bring in, the financial stipulation of all these moves, putting them in a great position for next offseason. The question I have for you, Michael, is we saw what Atlanta did when they brought in veterans. We saw what Phoenix did when they brought in veterans. Do you believe that to get Memphis to the point where they're competing for the Western Division title, that they have to make some move for a veteran or two, and that's what they're putting themselves in the position for next offseason?
I think that's a safe, and that's a very fair assessment right there, Greg, because I do think, yes, you don't, but see, I think they're doing that without having to shut the window on hope for this season, right? A lot of people just assume, okay, you trade Jonas away, that means you're punting on this coming season. I disagree with that because I think you're trading Jonas away, and I'm gonna go back to what your ultimate question was, but you trade Jonas away. You bring in Steven Adams, who can do some of the same things from a defensive. Well, he's probably a better defender, equal offensive rebounder, equal screen setter, and he's just not the scorer that Jonas was. But you're also moving out a potential scorer to make room for Jaren to come back, be healthy, and take on some of that scoring load. So it's not necessarily just subtraction, but it's a subtraction with the opportunity to add some things that you already had in place. As far as the Grizzlies in turn, I don't think they're going to – the West is going to be tricky no matter what. I do think Golden State jumps up from behind the Grizzlies. But other than that, every team that finished behind the Grizzlies, I'm not sure if any of the other ones can jump ahead of them.
I agree.
Now, when you look at teams who can be potentially falling back, I think Portland could potentially fall back. I think there are a couple other teams that could potentially fall back. So the Grizzlies could still theoretically be in a position to make the playoffs. They've done it the last 2 years, basically. They were in the play-in game 2 years ago in the bubble, and they were in the playoffs last year. And both of those years, we went in saying, well, next year or 2 years down the line. So, I do think they can maximize their free agency window with flexibility next season and draft assets, but still be very competitive in the West this year. Ja Morant won't allow them to be anything other than that.
Yeah, we talk about all these things, and certainly they're all very important, but it seems like a whole bunch of what happens from here going forward. One, obviously depends on Ja and his continued development, but we're pretty confident in that. But it really comes down to Jaren Jackson Jr. He has a healthy offseason now. What he is going to be, I think, determines so much about what this team can be.
Amen. You know what? I don't even have to answer that question. All I can do is just say amen, shake the tambourine, you know what I mean, and call a choir, and then, you know what I mean, see if we can get some money in the collection plate. That's all I need to do.
Do you believe he can be what they believe that he could be when they drafted him, and still believe he can become?
I think so, but we're still talking about belief 4 years in now, and it's got to be about benefits and production, right? We can't talk potential anymore with Jaren because the rubber is meeting the road. He's in that extension window in terms of whether he signs it or gets it this offseason or next offseason. Somebody or somewhere or some team is going to have to commit for long term to Jaren Jackson Jr. And why not the Grizzlies? I mean, they know him better than any team here. Zach Kleiman and all the front office guys are always talking about, Ja and Jaren. It's never been one or the other. It's been both together in terms of moving this thing forward. But this is a very big season for Jaren, and he knows it. He's been pretty quiet as it relates to, doing a lot of things outside of basketball, and it's been all about basketball in terms of developing. He's in the gym. He's motivated. He's getting his conditioning right, and I think he's going to come into camp knowing that the spotlight is going to be on him because he's the guy that can take this team from developing and hoping for the best for next year to, hey, let's get right back to where we were this past year and take a step forward from there.
Great sermon, Reverend. You're preaching to the choir here. I mean, I've been saying all along that he is the key figure. It is all about Jaren Jackson Jr. Now, I don't know if that's the most intelligent thing is to put kind of all your eggs into the one basket, but if Jaren has problems against staying on the court, it's going to retard, for a lack of better term, a team that's hopefully trying to move up and get better. Because you're absolutely right. They are not
trying to take a step back while looking at the future. They are trying to move forward. So I look at the other pieces of the puzzle. The Desmond Bain draft pick continues to make me smile. And what we saw in the Summer League, and I know it's the Summer League, is this guy ready to be a starter? Or do you think they run it back with Kyle Anderson? How do you think it will end up working out with Desmond Bain? Because there's a guy who just seems to need more time on the court.
Yeah, I mean, this is a guy that's going to get some minutes. I mean, I think that factored into making the trade for for Grayson Allen, moving sort of Grayson Allen out, giving him an opportunity to come off that Milwaukee bench for a defending champ, but also giving a guy like Desmond Bain a chance to say, okay, I could be a potential starter, or at least I'm going to be, a 25 to possible, 30-minute a game type player if I need to be. I'm going to develop on the defensive end. DeAnthony Melton is a long arm, athletic, do-it-all kind of guy, but Desmond Bain is a specialist as a shooter. And you can rely on that. He's going to be tough defensively. So, yes, you could theoretically slot him in as the starting shooting guard right there, or you can stay big and go with Dillon as the starting two, and then, maybe Culver if he develops, or Kyle stays at the 3, Jaren at the 4, and then, potentially Steven Adams at the 5. And you're still looking good there from that standpoint, too. But Desmond Bain and Xavier Tillman will be rotation players for this team. They're grown men. They're ready. They've shown it. And I think the sky's the limit for both of them to continue to be contributors coming off that bench, or possibly in spot duty starts. We've seen it already this past year. I think they're going to continue to grow in those roles now.
Final thing for you. Do you expect the roster the way it is, like you said, having the ability to carry the 20 until you have to make the cuts down to 15 and the two-way guys? Do you think that they're set until camp starts, or do you believe that another move could be made before camp?
Oh, I absolutely believe another move can be made before camp. I mean, we're sort of in that dead period, that quiet period in the NBA now. That once you get past summer leagues and the most of the free agency primary guys have already signed. You're basically everybody's on vacation now. This is where they get a little bit of a respite and a reprieve. And then right before camp, you might see another couple deals trickle through. Most teams have already spent most of their money. A couple teams need to make moves to get underneath. And then you're going to have a chance to buy out some guys too. So guys that you don't necessarily want to bring to training camp that could be sort of a distraction, not in a negative way totally, but just, let's get this business off our plate right now. You're going to see some moves like that made probably the week before or a couple of weeks before the training camp start, and then it'll go in from there as well.
He is the senior editor, contributor, and analyst for Grind City Media. He's Michael Wallace. You can follow him on Twitter at MyMikeCheck. Michael, always a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Hey, thanks a lot, guys. Y'all take care. All right?
Take
care.
Have
a good weekend.
You too.
Okay.
How about Michael coming with Leroy Richardson?
Leroy Richardson.
NBA official.
Well, he said, I heard this name. I recognize
the name.
the
He said it, too. I was like, that does sound very familiar to me, but I could not think of who it was. I was like, why? There is a Leroy Richardson out there.
Yeah, it doesn't ring a bell to me even now, even though you said that. Of course, probably one of the guys he was referring to with those final comments was Rajon Rondo, who nobody expects to be on the roster. So I think that's a guy that's either a buyout candidate or a possible trade.
New Life Medical Centers at 9160 Highway 64, open 7:30 to 5 during the week, Monday through Friday, and 9 to 1 on Saturday. Primary and urgent care for whatever is ailing you, plus many other things like weight loss programs, testosterone replacement therapy for guys. They treat low sex drive for women, erectile dysfunction. They've got sports medicine available with their stem cell and platelet-rich plasma treatments for joint injuries. You do not need an appointment to go see them either. You can just walk on in. They'll take care of you. But if you want to make an appointment, you certainly can. 901-213-0100 is the phone number. NewLifeMedCenters.com is their website. Again, 7:30 to 5 Monday through Friday and 9 to 1 Saturday at 9160 Highway 64, New Life Medical Center.
You are listening to Sports 56 Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You have opinions?
Well, you gotta have an opinion.
We want to hear them. Call or text us on the AutoZone listener line at 360-8255. That's the AutoZone listener line at 901-360-8255.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Ladies Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Sunrise Buick GMC is having their annual tent sale and the selection or savings are bigger than ever. A huge selection to choose from, big discounts from factory rebates high as $6,000. It's okay if you've got slow credit. Sunrise has over $500 million available for immediate financing with interest low as 0%, an $18 million used car inventory. And remember, Sunrise specializes in cars and trucks under $10,000. See them all at sunrisememphis.com. Savings and fun for all ages. The 33rd annual tent sale going on now at all Sunrise locations. Covington, Pike, Wolf Chase, and Collierville.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I'm Brian Elder. The great Kimmons Wilson of Holiday Inn had a slogan: the best surprise is no surprise. And that's so true. When I sit at your kitchen table, you're going to understand exactly what I'm going to do to your roof. From the underlayment to the hip shingles and ventilation, the flashing, the wood repairs, the cleanup, the crew safety, the warranty. It's amazing how many customers sign contracts being told none of that stuff. But the best surprise is no surprise. Insurance claims. Talk to your friends. More and more claims are being rejected, and only experienced claims specialists are getting those terrible decisions overturned. So if you don't hire me, please hire someone to manage the process with the experience to see it through. The best surprise is no surprise. 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Hey, if you're hungry for great Mexican food for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, got it. La Guadalupana. Guadalupana. Choose from tacos, burritos, enchiladas, sizzling shrimp, beef, or chicken fajitas, and even a Cuban sandwich filled with Mexican sauces, chicken, ham, steak, jalapenos, avocado, and more. How about super nachos topped with melted cheese, beans, sour cream, guacamole, tomato, and jalapenos? All great with nice cold beer, domestic and imported. Good prices, generous portions, great service at 2 locations, Summer Avenue and Cordova Road. La Guadalupana.
AC trouble? Call Air Doctors of Memphis, 901-598-HVAC. Owner Matt Davis is a third-generation full-service air conditioning specialist. Air Doctors of Memphis services all major brands, and labor and parts are guaranteed 100%. Their yearly AC checkup is only $60. Then this year, Air Doctors is the official HVAC contractor for St. Jude Dream House. Air Doctors installed the St. Jude Dream House new Train high-efficiency equipment. Get your service from the best. AirDoctorsOfMemphis.com. Call 901-598-HVAC.
It's finally time to get out of the house. So make sure you stop by Family Leisure with great prices on in-stock and incoming products. Keep the kids active with play gyms, in stock, ready for delivery. And by the way, installation from the pros, I always recommend that. Markdowns on remaining game room products and those beautiful massage chairs. And the hot tubs, they're going fast. Get out of the house and get to Family Leisure. Wooden Road and I-40, where family and fun come together.
Mid-South, get ready to enjoy your Summer in Style sales event at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike. Get all-wheel control system, pedestrian detection, lane departure warning, and 5-star safety rating with your 2022 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross SE. We Gossett $209 a month. Get advanced technology with My Pilot Assist, 7-passenger and fun to drive 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander. We Gossett $229 a month. And they're all powered by our stellar 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. It's time to get your groove on at Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or shop online at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motor Cars.
Both 48-month leases, $10,000 per year, $750 loyalty rebate, $500 military rebate, $250 Ally Military CCRA Cross, NZ 003186, MSRP 27725, Outlander NZO 19057, MSRP 20080, includes all manufacturer rebates and incentives, PF 695, excludes tax, title, and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 8/31/2021, dealer stock only.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays. This hour of Sports 56 Middays is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Big thanks to Michael Wallace for joining us on the program. Coming up at 12:05, Brad Logan, reporter, columnist, and host of the Brad Logan podcast. We'll talk college football with Brad, specifically Ole Miss and Mississippi State. Mentioned earlier that the Eagles got clobbered last night in the preseason by the Patriots, but Kenneth Gainwell played a lot, the former Tiger, and he's the highest graded player for the Eagles in that game. Really did a good job catching balls out of the backfield and running the ball. Kenneth Gainwell. I wonder how much PT he's going to get this year. They still have a bunch of veterans. They have Jordan Howard, I believe. They have
Boston, what's his last name?
Scott.
Boston Scott. Who am I missing on that Eagles team?
Well, Miles Sanders.
Miles Sanders.
Is their guy.
That's their stud. Yeah, I knew I was missing the stud. So I don't know what the plans are for the rookie, but I'm sure it'll be slow increments of playing time. I don't think he's going to be thrown right into the fire.
They also have Jordan Howard.
Yeah, I mentioned that.
Well, he'll be the first and second down guy. I sort of wonder how quick Kenny Gainwell will beat out Boston Scott, who's their third down guy, catches some passes. I think that'll be quickly. But I think about halfway through the season he'll get a lot of reps. I do believe that.
Yeah, I think Jordan Howard is also a candidate to be cut. There's always those surprising cuts, and you look and you go, they don't seem to be too deep at that position, and all of a sudden there's the cut. I would think Sanders, like Eli said, is the guy. Gainwell is part of the future. And Boston Scott's solid.
Howard is more of the kind of short yardage goal line guy.
Yeah.
If they, that's his main role for them.
But he's bounced. He went from Chicago to Miami to Philadelphia. There's always those surprising cuts. When they start making the cuts, when the Turk comes to calling, I hate to say I like it because I don't like it for people to lose their jobs, but it's really cool. Wow, that guy got cut.
It's great for Gainwell, but I'm not sure being the highest graded player in a 35-0 loss is all that something to be proud of. They were grading on quite a curve.
Take what you can get.
When you lose 35-0, I'm not sure there were a whole lot of high grades handed out.
That's probably true. One other note, 84 individuals are being treated for illness after likely being exposed to the bacteria Legionella, which I'm going to assume, and I might be wrong here, so maybe I shouldn't assume, that Legionella has something to do with Legionnaire's disease, yes. Legionella, while attending the Coach K Academy, the basketball camp. 84 individuals.
Not good.
No, I would say so. I would say it wasn't good for those folks. Hopefully they'll be okay. Hour 3 coming up. Final hour for us this week here on Sports 56 Middays. And again, we kick things off with Brad Logan talking some college football. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Welcome to Triumph Auto Sales, where you'll have a great car buying experience. Triumph Auto Sales is your #1 source of quality pre-owned vehicles ranging from lease returns to new car trades, all at huge savings. Plus, Triumph has a full array of financing options to meet your needs. Find your next car online at TriumphAutoSales.com or stop in today at 4875 Elmore Road. Triumph Auto Sales will help you get the vehicle you want at the price you need and the service you deserve. For a great car and a great experience from a local and family-owned business, visit Triumph Auto Sales.
If you're going on vacation, making a college campus visit, or if business takes you out of town, there's just no better place to board your dog than Barks and Recreation, 965 Reddick Cove between Bud Davis Cadillac and the Blue Plate Cafe in East Memphis. Boarding, daycare, grooming, we have the best of everything at Barks. Indoor-outdoor kennels so your family member can go in and out as they please. Indoor and outdoor play areas. 4 walks a day, group play, and individual attention from the best staff in the Mid-South, which includes an overnight staff to ensure the safety and comfort of your pet 24 hours a day. All reasons to choose Barks and Recreation above all other boarding and daycare facilities. BarksDaycare.com or 509-0909. Check us out and make your reservations now at BarksDaycare.com. If your dog could speak, he'd say Barks.
Taqueria Express has a new location at 6290 Winchester with family deals every day. Mouth-watering chicken tacos, only 99 cents. 3 tacos with rice, beans, and fresh guacamole, only $6. And incredible signature dishes with chicken or beef chimichangas and homemade tortillas stuffed with fresh beans, rice, and cheese on top. If you're hungry, try Taqueria Express's gigantic Macho Burrito. Homemade with fresh flour tortilla, and you choose beef, chicken, pork, or shrimp. Includes beans, rice, melted cheese, lettuce, tomato, and sour cream. Fajita fans try Taqueria's delicious chicken or steak fajitas. Big enough for 2 people and only $10. $5. If you're thirsty and want something unique, then try Taqueria drinks made from scratch, like melon and pineapple. Margaritas are buy one, get one free, and they got a little kick to them. For real Mexican food, Taqueria Express, 6290 Winchester. We'll see you guys there, and don't forget the strong margaritas. Buy one, get one free.
I'm Dr. George Flynn, Chairman of the Board of Flynn Broadcasting. Other stations might consider you to be a listener. I don't, and we don't. You are a family member, and I want the best for you and your family. So please get vaccinated against COVID. It saves hospitalizations and can save your life. I've had 3 rounds of vaccines on clinical trials with no side effects other than maybe a sore arm for 24 hours. I want to protect you, my family, and would never suggest something that might harm you. Please get vaccinated and feel safe in knowing you've done your part to beat COVID-19. I care about you, so please get vaccinated. All of us at Flynn Broadcasting want to keep you healthy, so please get vaccinated.
Mount Moriah Auto Sales. What sets them apart? Great selection, quality, high-end to low-end cars, and low mileage. Mount Moriah Auto Sales is under new management. Ask for Emmett or Steven. Check out their great selection of cars or trucks. Choose from Dodges, Jeeps, Fords, GMCs, Infinitis, Porsches, Range Rovers, Lexus, Mercedes, BMWs, even Bentleys. Mount Moriah Auto Sales also has a great service department with 12 bays for everything from oil changes to alignment to new tires. Go to MountMoriahAutoSales.com. Pick out your like new car or truck today. Mount Moriah Auto Sales, right on the corner and right on the price. Listen Sundays at 11 a.m. to join Idlewild Presbyterian Church for worship. Idlewild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports 56 Middays. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Everyone's watching to see what you do. Everyone's looking at you.
Lover boy, everybody's working for the weekend. Our weekend starts in 57 minutes. Final hour for us today and this week here on Sports 56 Middays. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Gabe Kuhn. It's the Friday, August 20th, 2021 edition of the program. We are in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. We start hour 3 talking college football. It's always a pleasure to catch up with Brad Logan, reporter and columnist and host of the Brad Logan podcast. You can follow him on Twitter at Brad Logan, COTE. He joins us now on Sports 56 Middays. Brad, how are you?
I'm doing well, Greg. Thanks for having me on the show today. And the great part about the weekend's getting here, it's yet another weekend we're closer to college football. I know you guys and your listeners are as excited as I am about the season cranking up.
Last weekend without college football
Yes.
for quite a while.
I am glad that the summer had a lot of intrigue, a lot of different stories that happen, especially in the world of college athletics, to keep us busy, because when it gets to those dog days of summer, just the countdown to college football, there's 2 months to go, there's a month and a half to go. Yeah, we are right there. We are on the precipice to start another football season, and we are all excited. I know you more than a lot of people, Brad, because you live for this college football game that we all love. And we haven't had you on. We haven't spoken to you since the big news, of course, of the summer, which was the Texas-Oklahoma to the SEC. Anytime you can actually have news that's bigger than the NIL going into effect, that says an awful lot about what this move is. So now that we have that in place, we don't know when they'll actually start, but we don't know about the future. And there's so much speculation out there. There's so many questions about where we're going from here. What do you think college football will look like in a decade?
That's a great question. And what I've enjoyed listening to your show over the last couple of months is you guys have done a great job of having different guests on, giving different opinions about where they think the game is going. Here's one thing I've dissected from different interviews that I've heard from whether it be national or local sports talk radio, is not only do you have the dynamic of this alliance that has just came out by The Athletic, putting that these particular programs like the Big Ten, the ACC, and the Pac-12 are coming out and saying, well, if the SEC's doing this, we're going to do this. So you've got all the uncertainty with conference realignment, with teams. You've also got this thing that we don't like to talk a lot about, and that's COVID. And we've got so much uncertainty coming up from a health standpoint. What's going to happen going forward, not only from our personal lives, but it's definitely bled over into the college game. All of the athletic directors, Keith Carter at Ole Miss, made the comment just the other day during media day when it was a very scaled down version to everyone. We were kind of sitting around talking, and he said, I'm nervous. I don't know kind of what to expect from this. And so people are having to make decisions on a health standpoint. On top of that, you've got a big cloud of uncertainty of the conference realignment. I think, to answer your question, I think we're going to have a major super conference. The question is, I don't know how that's going to shake out. But I do think programs in the American, I think programs in Conference USA and Sun Belt, they're probably spinning right now because a lot of their bye games are going to go away. What happens in the future, I don't know. And I think I am excited to see what happens, but I think now more than ever, those programs have to be really proactive and try to think outside the box to make sure they're not left behind in some form or fashion.
One of the things that a lot of people have brought up since the whole Oklahoma-Texas thing came about was the teams, like the two teams that you cover in Ole Miss and Mississippi State, the Arkansas and others of, well, if you're these teams that already have trouble, trying to compete and win the SEC, why do you want two more traditional powers coming into the conference that just make it that much more difficult for an Ole Miss or a Mississippi State? What do you think about that? And obviously money is what determines it all. But what do you think about Mississippi and Mississippi State and now with two more traditional powers, although Texas isn't there right now. Now we're going to be joining the league.
That's a great point, Eli, and I think it's a twofold answer. Number one, I think it just boosts your academic budget. I think it pads your pocketbook and allows you to do some things like Ole Miss is doing to the Manning Center, where they're able to completely revamp it and get it up to the standards that we're seeing across the country. It allows you to kind of redo your locker room and make it kind of a little almost like a spaceship. But the downside of that, Eli, the other side of that is it makes it even harder to compete in the SEC. It makes it even harder for Ole Miss and Mississippi State to get to Atlanta. So it's almost like you live by the sword, you die by the sword. And bringing in a Texas, bringing in Oklahoma, a program that is historical in college football, that's got the national championships, it's got the success, quite frankly, that Ole Miss and Mississippi State, they just don't have. So it makes it insurmountable when you talk about athletics on the field of play. But like I said, the good news, it allows that budget to continue to grow and the checks from the SEC to get even more insane than they already are.
Well, and that's the thing too. That's why I've told a lot of people when they've asked me, said, listen, Ole Miss and Mississippi State aren't winning it anyway, so you might as well get more money. There's the bottom line. I mean, Ole Miss has never been to the championship game, and so if you're not getting there anyway, you might as well take more money. Yeah,
that's a good point. And kind of growing up and being around the Ole Miss fan base and the Mississippi State fan base. And I remember back in 1998 when Mississippi State was able to get to Atlanta, it was an absolute state championship on a high school level type atmosphere.
Right.
And it's something that, gentlemen, I don't know how long that's been. My math counter's not great, but it's been over 20 years. That's something they talk about to this day. And if it were Ole Miss in those shoes, they would be talking about it too. Heck, Ole Miss hung a banner in 2003 for a co-SEC West championship that kind of gets laughed about, but that's how much it means to the program that you're able to tie LSU. Now, you didn't represent the program and go to Atlanta, but you tied them for the championship. So that's the goal for this program, I think, for Ole Miss is to get to Atlanta. When they were under Hugh Freeze in 15 and 16 or 14 and 15, they beat Alabama. They just couldn't beat Arkansas on the 4th and 23. Yeah. And it's almost like it's been a Netflix series of how Ole Miss has not been able to get to Atlanta. So that's definitely a huge goal, and that's something I think both these programs would love to do again.
All right, before we dive into Mississippi State and Ole Miss, get your thoughts on how camp's going. Just playing devil's advocate, and you guys are absolutely right what you just said, but playing devil's advocate, the direction we're going in, and which has been curtailed for the moment, is the 12-team playoff. Well, if you get a 12-team playoff, You don't necessarily have to be in Atlanta in the SEC championship game to be a playoff team. So even though you do add Oklahoma, a power, Texas, former power that could be again, at least there's the chance that you can have a great season, not make it to Atlanta, and still be a part of the playoffs. So that's the hope, too, is the thought of the 12-team playoff.
Yeah, that's a great point. And the good news is you'll have the teams on the schedule to beat to get to that 12-team playoff, to get to the 8 or 9 or whatever your city needs to be. The bad news is you've got those teams you're going to have to beat to get to the playoffs. So it's almost it's almost like a good or a bad. But obviously, it puts yourself in a position to make the playoff. That's a great point, Greg, and I completely agree.
Yeah, the alternative is to leave the SEC. That ain't going to happen. So you're stuck with what you have. All right, let's go down to Starkville and talk about Mississippi State. So Mike Leach, as everybody knows, starts off in year number 1. The crazy game at LSU. LSU, the defending national champions. KJ Costello sets the record for yardage passing in his first game and in Mike Leach's first game. And after that, it was not so good. What are the expectations in year number 2?
I think Mike needs to win 6. And I think he can do that by winning his non-conference games and beating Kentucky and Missouri. Now, Kentucky has not been an easy win for them, but they have the opportunity to get Kentucky and Missouri. They do not get Florida. They do not get Georgia. And so that helps them get to that 6-win portion. Now, last year they didn't win a ton of games. They did get hot kind of down the stretch and beat a pretty decent Missouri team. They played well in the Egg Bowl and then went over and beat whoever they played in the Tulsa in some bowl game. I don't remember the name of it. It wasn't a huge deal. But here's the thing. What we remember about that game is that at least you get to a bowl game. Last year's bowl season, I don't know about you guys.
Armed Forces Bowl, by the way. Armed Forces Bowl, 28-26.
Yes, the historic Armed Forces Bowl.
But here's the thing about that. You go to that bowl game, and you didn't win but 3 games. And so it was basically a glorified spring practice. But it was a practice that this team needed, and specifically quarterback Will Rogers. What he's been able to do with the bowl game, he threw for 440 against an Ole Miss defense that was horrific. But, I mean, if he threw for 440 against air, that's still pretty good. And that was basically what that secondary was last year for Ole Miss. So if he plays well in the Egg Bowl, which he did, Jaden Wally comes back. He's wide open. He had a little bit of a tweak of a knee in the spring, but he's wide open. The wide receiver, the freshman, he's a sophomore. He's great this year for Mississippi State. He's had a great camp. So Will Rogers continues to do better in the spring. Now he plays well in the bowl game. A lot of experience. I've been told, I've been able to see at practice, he's a leader both on and off the field. There is no quarterback issues at Mississippi State. He's the number 1. The good news for State, too, you've got Sawyer Robertson. He is a freshman out of Texas, highly decorated 4-star. He's looking really good. I think we may have a quarterback controversy next year, actually, with Will Rogers being a junior and then Robertson will be a sophomore because I think he's going to be that good. So you've got a program that needs to get to 6. I think they can do that. They've got Ole Miss at home. The non-conference is tricky, I think, for Mississippi State. Mm-hmm. They've got La Tech. They're favored by 24. That'll be no problem. Problem with Mississippi State, they've got Dave Doran has said this is the best team he's had as head coach at NC State. So he's going to bring a pretty good team to Starkville. We don't need to talk about how hard it is for an SEC team to win in Memphis because Ole Miss has shown they can have the best team in program history in 2003 and still lose. So Memphis is going to treat the game. We all know that. They're going to treat it like one of the biggest on the schedule. Mississippi State's going to walk into a buzzsaw in the Liberty Bowl in a couple of weeks at 3 o'clock. So they've got 2 non-conference games that are going to be tough. I think for Mississippi State, if they can win those 2 non-conference games, I think 7 wins is definitely attainable. Lose those 2, and it's going to be a very tricky situation in Starkville. The good news for the Bulldogs, I love their wide receiving core. They're running, I guess you could say, the routes are crisp. They're getting a little separation, but most importantly, in a Mike Leach offense, is you run the right routes, you get some separation, but most importantly, you catch the ball. And they've got Austin Williams, a senior. He's not going to burn anybody, but he's catching the ball. He's catching the ball well, along with Tulu Griffin. Mekhi Polk is a name to remember if you're a fan of Memphis and you go to that game. He's going to be a game breaker. So the wide receiving room looks good. The running backs look good with Dylan Johnson along with Jakevius Marks. They're fine there. Offensive line's going to be a bit of a question mark. Defensive line's a little bit of a question mark. They lose their starting defensive tackle, Jordan Davis, the senior, to an ACL injury. the good news, that's a rumor. Mike Leaks has not confirmed that, but it's a very, very well sourced rumor. The good news, they've got Crumedy can kind of slide down from the defensive end spot, but that's leadership you're losing. It's a good player you're losing. The secondary led kind of by Marcus Emerson has done a nice job in that secondary, so that's kind of somebody to watch. They struggled last year, but they were injured. They had a lot of COVID issues. They had some opt-outs. And real briefly before I go about Mississippi State, the good news, Colin Hill's gone. He was a distraction last year. Is he playing? Is he not playing? Is he injured? Is he opting out? He's gone. So now you've got Marks, you've got Dylan Johnson, along with a couple of transfers that can kind of give a little bit of depth there. So the offensive backfield with Rodgers and that bevy of running backs, and with Colin Hill gone, I like the stability a lot more.
By the way, guys, I didn't realize this. Brad, you probably knew this. Maybe Eli. They have gone down in wins each of the last 4 years. It went from 9 to 8 to 6 to 4. I didn't even realize that.
Well, and I think your point, Brad, about those two non-conference games with NC State and Memphis becomes so huge because with LSU, A&M, and Alabama as your next three games after that, if they were to lose those two,
right,
suddenly you're probably going to be 1-5, and things are completely unraveling.
Yeah, they're unraveling, and the wheels have come off. That's why it's so important for Mississippi State to beat a team in Memphis to where, I'll be honest, I don't know a ton about them, but I know this. I know Ryan Silverfield will have his team ready. And I know that there is a ton of players on that roster. And I've looked at the roster, gentlemen. It's full of Mississippi kids.
Mm-hmm.
And it's full of Mississippi kids, quite frankly, that have a chip on their shoulder. And they're going to be playing in that game as hard as they play in any game all year. I know. I've been to the game to where Mississippi State and where Ole Miss play Memphis, and I've seen how hard those kids play. So that's a game that's going to be circled along with the NC State game. And I'll be honest, you hate to call those early games must-wins for Mississippi State, but Eli just nailed it. And I really haven't looked at it quite like that. But all of a sudden, if you're hosting Arkansas and you're 1-7, oh my goodness! I mean, the natives will be restless. And real quick on Mississippi State, what Mississippi State has done in baseball, winning the national championship, I can assure you that fan base has tasted success. They've tasted success with Dak Prescott and Dan Mullen. They're not going to sit around and allow another 3 or 4 win season without being incredibly upset with this program.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point. Look, every game is different. Every week is different. But you nailed it with that NC State game. NC State's really good, but they have to go to Starkville. But if you lose that game and look bad, and now all of a sudden you're questioning yourself going into Memphis,
mm-hmm.
and if you have the hiccup there, then LSU, Texas A&M, Alabama, like Eli said, it could be over early for Mississippi State.
And when you said Ryan Silverfield will have his team ready, yeah, this will not be like when Mississippi State came to Memphis under Larry Porter, and Memphis got like 4 misalignment penalties before they got
gosh,
off.
That's right.
Legal formation on the first 2 snaps of the game.
Don't remind me about that.
But everybody was ready to join the revolution.
At that point, there were a lot of
what
fans.
What revolution? We don't know.
There was almost a revolution in the stands that night before it got started.
Yeah.
That's right.
Unfortunately, it became a revolution of people leaving and not going back to games. It got ugly, but it's not ugly anymore. So Memphis is certainly going to be ready for Mississippi State. All right, Ole Miss. And I know a lot more about Ole Miss's camp than I do Mississippi State's, but you are obviously covering both of them. All I'm hearing are good things. First of all, 100% vaccination. Matt Corral, it was Lane Kiffin said just yesterday, I believe, that it was about his most accurate practice that he has had. All his passes are right on target. It looks like the defense is going to be improved. I think Ole Miss is going to be that surprise team in the SEC.
I think they're going to be really good on offense from what I've seen. The word, when Lane Kiffin uses the word insane in regards to the accuracy of Matt Corral, that says a lot. And, Matt was good a lot last year. He was just really bad a couple of times. I think in order for him to be that elite quarterback, which I think he's very close to that now, he's got to alleviate those games against Auburn and Arkansas. And, to his credit, someone asked him the question is, what do you kind of glean from last year? What are you trying to kind of improve, whatever? You had all these numbers and that sort of thing. He says, well, the thing about it is you can't forget about those 2 games. All the other games are great, but you can't just take away from the bad games.
Right.
And so I think he understands that. And I think a lot of people are talking about Elijah Moore, about him being gone and who's stepping up. And right now it's kind of a couple of people. It's Dontario Drummond has really stepped up. I really like what Dennis Jackson is doing from the wide receiver position. And there's some younger players, and even Lane Kiffin admitted they're kind of spinning a little bit. A J.J. Henry out of Texas, a Brandon Buckhalter out of the Jackson area. There's a lot to put on them with different routes you're having to run, the different play calls, not just from a physicality standpoint, from a mental standpoint. So the freshmen and even the transfers, Quay Davis out of Itawamba Community College, they're kind of spinning a little bit. So, but the good news is those veterans are in there. The Jonathan Mingos, you expect those players to step up. A Chase Rogers at tight end, the Jonathan Hess at tight end. We've seen the tight end implemented quite a bit in this offense. And we've seen an offensive line that's been pretty steady. Jalen Cunningham, the news broke yesterday that he's being moved to defense, which tells me he wasn't going to play a lot on that offense, which if you're an Ole Miss fan, you like to hear that, which means other backups have kind of surpassed him. An Eli Acker, a freshman, has really looked good for Ole Miss, is now running with the two. So that means that Cunningham has been replaced with someone. And they need some help on that defense. You talked a little bit about that. When you're 114, there's really no way to go but up. And, people tell me, well, Brad, they return all of their starters. Well, if their starters weren't any good, what difference? So
Right.
I think the defense has improved. But here's the thing. Show it to me on the field because, we've heard Lane Kiffin say, we didn't tackle, our 1s, 2s, and 3s really didn't tackle well. He kind of up after saying, I watched the film, the 1s, tackled better. But, anytime those not open, but anytime those scrimmages are happening, what you're having is an offense that kind of knows where their defense is going to be. You can't hit the quarterback. You have to stay up. You can't go low. So that really puts a disadvantage to the defense. I'm not really making excuses. I'm just kind of calling it as it is. Let's see what that defense looks like against a Louisville team that lost 20 seniors. I don't think Louisville's going to be very good. Satterfield seemed like he flirted with every open job out there. I don't think that relationship with the athletic director is in a really good spot. It just doesn't set up well for Louisville this football season. So I think it's an opportunity for Ole Miss to go in and score a ton of points. I think more importantly for Ole Miss is to play well on defense. And finally for Ole Miss, you get to play some non-conference games. Last year Lane Kiffin made the point, everybody's ripping on our defense, but it was every week we were playing Alabama, we were playing LSU, we were playing Texas A&M. We didn't get a chance to play some of the teams that we had some superior athletes. Now Ole Miss can play the Austin Peays, the Tulanes, and those type teams to where they can try some younger people on defense. So I think it sets up well. I mean, if you put an over-under on me, I'm at probably 8 or 9 wins. If things go right, you might get to 10. If things kind of crash, you're at 6 or 7. But the schedule sets up for Ole Miss to have a really good year. And I think for Ole Miss to do that, they got to play well on defense. And that's not really stating the obvious. It's just kind of what everybody's saying because we know that offense is loaded. We know that Jerrion Ely is going to be an incredible offensive player. And I say that because he made the comment, look, we've got Henry Parrish, we've got Snoop Connor, we've got Isaiah Woolard to run the football. If they need to put me a slot, we need to get our playmakers the ball. And that's exactly what you want to hear from your offensive players, and I think they're going to score a ton of points again.
You mentioned with Louisville, and certainly they need to start. It should start 3-0 before they get Alabama, and we all know how that's likely going to go, especially on the road. It feels like that stretch at the end of October, the LSU, Auburn, and then Liberty with the return of Hugh Freeze, like that little stretch will determine a lot.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are circling that Liberty game. I think, I'd love your guys' opinion because you were all very close to the Hugh Freeze situation when he was at Briarcrest and Arkansas State, and then, of course, at Ole Miss. But it just feels like the talent in that situation should win out. I can't imagine the Liberty defense can stop Corral. Now, if Corral comes in and throws another Arkansas game and then Hugh comes in, because I can assure you, he's got it circled, and he's got, Willis, and his offensive game plan is probably going to come with every kind of nook and cranny you've got to run every kind of play you can imagine. But you would think that, quite frankly, talent should win out. But, yeah, that's going to be a big one. But you would think Ole Miss at that point, if it can play well against Texas A&M, is going to face this year they've got an Auburn team with a Brian Harsin. Nobody's expecting a lot out of Mississippi State's kind of down. This year you've got Tennessee with a brand-new coach in Josh Heupel. Nobody really knows what to expect. Maybe Joe Milton's the quarterback for Tennessee. We've heard he's the next Cam Newton. There's a lot of unknowns with those teams. But with the exception of maybe A&M, Alabama, and then LSU, I think LSU's going to be really good this year. I think the rest of the games are gettable for Ole Miss. And but once again, you get LSU at home. Who knows?
Yeah, and that's the thing, and that's why I look at if you do stumble against LSU, which is very likely. I mean, you very well could. I mean, LSU could be very good. Yeah. Historically, they haven't fared very well at Auburn. Historically, they don't fare very well against Auburn, no matter where they play them. If all of a sudden you've lost to LSU and Auburn, and you've got A&M on the horizon with Liberty coming in, that's what I could see where Liberty, you kind of just get caught in this. You're reeling, you start looking ahead to A&M, and all of a sudden Liberty gets you.
Well, your rush defense better be good, or at least improved against Bigsby and Auburn. But I like, look, and you're absolutely right. I think talent should prevail. Liberty will score points. There's no question Liberty's going to score a bunch of points. And you start turning it over and start doubting yourself, you can lose a home game against Liberty. But I think they'll be able to beat Liberty. But Eli's right. I mean, then that Texas A&M game looms. It's not an easy out anywhere in the SEC West. We understand that, but I think Ole Miss is going to be a lot of fun. But I want to go back. I know we're out of time here. Dear statement, people are saying Joe Milton is the next Cam Newton. Joe Milton, hopefully, is not the current Cam Newton, where he can't throw the ball down the field. I mean, that's the worry. But Hype will hopefully figure that thing out sooner than later. Brad, it's been a pleasure as always, folks. Make sure to follow Brad on Twitter at BradLoganCOTE. He's all over the place, a reporter and columnist. He's host of the Brad Logan podcast. Brad, we'll be talking to you soon. Take care. Happy pre-college football kickoff. Yeah, we're almost there. Almost to week 0, which is just stupid.
Awesome. Love it. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Brad. Thanks. Appreciate that. I wonder what he didn't comment on the week 0 comment I made. I mean, it's just stupid. Week 0 should be week 1. If they're playing games, for goodness sakes, it's the first week of college football.
Listen, I dealt with it in high school football for way too long, and never. It makes
no sense.
I never had heard of it till I moved to Memphis, and now we have it in college football. Moving can be a stressful thing, but black tie moving will help take the worry and stress out of the process as much as they possibly can. Give them a call. Go to the website. Get in touch with them and sit down with them and come up with a plan that fits your needs, fits your budget of what you need them to do for you, whether you're moving across town or across country. Whether it's your home, whether it's your office, whatever it is, the folks at Black Tie Moving will help you out. You give them a call at 901-316-6196 or go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis. You'll see that they have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, 5-star ratings all over the place because they are the best in the business. So don't try and do it yourself, and don't go with some second-rate company. Go with the folks at Black Tie Moving. Again, 901-316-6196 or blacktiemoving.com/Memphis.
We got 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation, coming up next. So jump on the phone lines right now at 360-8255. The AutoZone phone lines are available. 360-8255 available to you to call in for 10 in a row. We'll do it when we return. This is Sports 56 Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy take you home with Sports Time on Sports 56, weekday afternoons from 3 to 6 on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
It's finally time to get out of the house. So make sure you stop by Family Leisure with great prices on in-stock and incoming products. Keep the kids active with play gyms, in stock, ready for delivery. And by the way, installation from the pros, I always recommend that. Markdowns on remaining game room products and those beautiful massage chairs. And the hot tubs, they're going fast. Get out of the house and get to Family Leisure. Wooden Road and I-40, where family and fun come together.
I'm Brian Elder. The great Kimmons Wilson of Holiday Inn had a slogan: the best surprise is no surprise. And that's so true. When I sit at your kitchen table, you're going to understand exactly what I'm going to do to your roof. From the underlayment to the hip shingles and ventilation, the flashing, the wood repairs, the cleanup, the crew safety, the warranty. It's amazing how many customers sign contracts being told none of that stuff. But the best surprise is no surprise. Insurance claims. Talk to your friends. More and more claims are being rejected, and only experienced claims specialists are getting those terrible decisions overturned. So if you don't hire me, please hire someone to manage the process with the experience to see it through. The best surprise is no surprise. 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Mid-South, the time is now to trade up to a Kia sales event at Gossett Kia on Covington Pike. You want to ride with 41 MPG Highway? We Gossett 2021 Kia Rio $249 a month. You want 0% and $282 a month? We Gossett with 2021 Kia Forte. And all-weather rugged 2022 Kia Seltos $332 a month. Plus peace of mind with Kia's 10-year 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Trade up and get top dollar at Gossett Kia 1900 Covington Pike or shop 24/7 at KiaCovingtonPike.com. Ask for Bobby J. He'll put you in a new Kia today.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All $29.99 due at signing. Rio ME 418 570 60 at 0.9% APR. MSRP 17.2. Forte ME 393 458 60 at 0%. MSRP 19,940. Celtos N 724 9948 66 at 1.9%. MSRP 23,910. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Valid through 8/31/2021. Dealer stock only. Must finance through Kia on APR offer.
At Southern Airways, we fly to make your day.
Memphis's hometown airline, Southern Airways, wants you to beat the Mid-South Heat and head to the Emerald Coast. Southern is the easy and convenient way for Memphians to get to Destin. Want to spend some time on the lake instead? Fly over the interstate traffic and bypass any delays and take one of Southern's flights to Hot Springs, Arkansas. Short flights and popular regional destinations like Arkansas's festival city of El Dorado and Harrison, Arkansas, the gateway to Branson, each have daily nonstop flight options from Southern Airways out of Memphis. Flying Southern is easy with no TSA screening hassles and free parking at Signature Flight Support. So if you're planning a quick weekend getaway, be sure to fly Southern Airways. Visit iFlySouthern.com to reserve your seats today.
At Southern Airways, we fly to make your day.
CenterPoint Energy takes many steps to help ensure the safety of gas lines in your community and shares important tips like the following. A distinct odor similar to rotten eggs is added to natural gas. If you smell it, clear the area and immediately call CenterPoint Energy. Plus, always remember to call 811 before you dig or begin an outdoor project. Natural gas is one of the safest fuels. To find more tips, visit centerpointenergy.com/gas safety.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
It's a cold wet December day. We touch the ground at JFK. Snow was melting on the ground. Yes, I heard the sound of an angel.
Welcome back, everybody. We've got 10 in a row coming up in just a moment. You can jump on the phone lines right now. The AutoZone phone lines available to you at 360-8255. The Little League World Series is going on right now. And I know, Eli, you love watching the Little League World Series. You'll just sit down in front of your TV and watch hours and hours of it. So here's the numbers. This is pretty cool. How many girls have played in the Little League World Series? What's your guess, Eli?
In the Little League Softball World Series, a lot.
No, Little League World Series, baseball.
I have no idea.
19. How many Major League Baseball players have played in the Little League World Series?
I know, what's his name? Gosh, the third baseman. They always show him every time you.
Todd Frazier.
Todd
Frazier.
Frazier. Yes, Todd Frazier.
How many? What's your guess, though?
30.
58. Cody Bellinger, Lance Lynn, Michael Conforto, Carney Lansford, Boog Powell, Gary Sheffield, just to name a few. How many NFL players have played in the Little League World Series?
5.
9. Not too bad. Matt Castle being one. 1980 NFL MVP Brian Sipe being another. How many NHL players have played in the Little League World Series?
4.
Correct. I bet $1 million you couldn't name one. Pierre Turgeon being probably the biggest name. And there is one NASCAR driver. You got 3 guesses. Do you know 3 NASCAR drivers?
Dale Earnhardt.
No.
Dale Earnhardt Jr.
No.
Jeff Gordon.
No. Austin Dillon is the correct answer. So there you go. It's a little bit of the history of the Little League World Series. Now it's time for 10 in a row.
Not 5, not 6, not 7, not 8, not 9, but 10 in a row.
What were we going to say?
I was going to mention this Bonzi Wells story from his introductory press conference.
All right, let's do that, and then we'll do 10 in a row, but we need you to jump on the phone lines right now, the AutoZone phone lines, 360-8255. We'll tell you what you're playing for in just a moment.
Bonzi is being officially introduced today as the head coach at Lemoyne Owen. He said that the original plan was for Rasheed Wallace to be the head coach, and he was going to be an assistant, and then Penny stole Wallace.
Really?
And they're going to live together here in Memphis, Bonzi and Rasheed.
Do they have families?
I'm sure their families are not moving to Memphis with them.
Well, if you're coaching Memphis Tigers basketball, Lemoyne Owen will have a shorter season, but you're talking about, 8 months? The season would be about 6, but then you got to figure a couple of months for recruiting and all that stuff. But
a lot of these guys' families don't move with them like these things. Like Rod Strickland, when he was here, his family never moved here.
Yeah, you're probably right.
They don't. I mean,
all right. So now we got to get Bonzi on the show. Bring up Mike Fratello, and he goes berserk. So I don't know if that once we want to do that when he. I'm sure we'll be able to get him on the program. But yeah, congratulations to Bonzi. That news came down yesterday as he takes over officially now as the Lemoyne Owen men's basketball coach, and they'll play the Memphis Tigers in one of the Tigers' 2 exhibition games. The other being Andre Turner, the first-year head coach of Lane College. But we are playing 10 in a row. It is the game show that has swept the nation. What are the folks playing for today, Eli?
Today, we are going to give a $25 gift certificate to Sweetgrass. Also going to give away $25 to Sunrise. And next weekend, not tomorrow, but a week from tomorrow, is going to be the World Championship Hot Wing Contest and Festival out at Tiger Lane, which is going to be a great event from 1 to 8 next Saturday. And they've got live music going on like all day long. They're going to have a wing eating contest, parade. They're going to have a cornhole tournament. They got all kinds of stuff going on. It's August 28th, next Saturday, out at Tiger Lane. And I'm going to give away, we're going to throw in 2 tickets to the World Championship Hot Wing Contest and Festival. You can get more information, by the way, at worldwingfest.com.
That's 1 week before the Tigers open up against Nicholls State, but it is week 0 of the college football season that weekend. So there you go. That's the prize package. All we need now is participants. Here's the question. Top 10 in ties, NFL franchises that lead all-time with playoff appearances. So the NFL franchise all-time playoff appearances, top 10 in ties. So you're looking at teams that throughout history have been to the NFL playoffs the most. I'm not asking you who has won the most. All I'm asking is the teams that have been to the playoffs the most. 360-8255. AutoZone phone lines, 360-8255 to play 10 in a row. Again, I say this every week. I'm not going to sit around and wait. We need the guinea pigs. We need to get the thing rolling because I got things to do, places to be. You know what I'm saying? It's a great prize package. If you want to win it, you jump on the phone lines right now at 360-8255. NFL franchises, all-time playoff appearances, top 10 in ties. There's actually 11 that fit into that category. I'll give you the name of a team. For example, if I said the Titans, Eli, what would that answer be?
No.
And that goes back to the Oilers, remember, because it is part of the franchise, but it would still be a no.
So it's appearances, not games played.
Exactly. Okay. Appearances, playoff appearances. 360-8255. Come on, folks. Let's do this thing.
Again, $25 to Sweetgrass, $25 to Sunrise, and a couple of tickets for the World Championship Hot Wing Contest and Festival going on next Saturday, a week from tomorrow, out at Tiger Lane. That's all going to the winner of 10 in a row today. And leading us off is going to be David. Hello, David.
Hi, David.
Hey, guys. How are y'all?
Doing good.
Doing great. Again, we're talking about NFL franchises, all-time playoff appearances. So it's the all-time franchise. They may have been located in a different city than they are now, and it's playoff appearances, not wins. The Bills. Okay. The Bills.
No.
The Packers.
Yes.
The Broncos.
Yes.
360-8255 is the number. Next.
Next up, we go to Andre. Hello, Andre.
Dre,
What's going on, fellas?
how are you, sir?
All right.
Here we go. Cowboys.
Yeah.
How about them Cowboys? Dolphins.
No.
Bengals.
No.
Bears.
No.
Eagles.
No.
360-8255 is the number. Who's next?
Wow, that's interesting. Tim is next. Hello, Tim.
Hi, Tim.
Hey, how's it going?
Going
Good.
well. NFL franchises all-time playoff appearances, top 10 and ties, so we got 11 total that would fit the bill. The Bills.
No.
The Packers.
Yes.
The Broncos.
No.
The Giants.
Yes.
The Steelers.
No.
360-8255. Wow. Surprised on that answer.
Yeah. Let's go next to Sean. Hello, Sean.
Hi, Sean.
Hey.
Cowboys.
Yeah.
Dolphins.
No.
Bengals.
No.
Bears.
No.
Eagles.
Yeah.
Jets.
No.
49ers.
Yeah.
Cardinals.
No.
Vikings.
Yeah.
Saints.
No.
There's your winner.
Sean, congratulations. You are a winner. You've got yourself $25 to Sweetgrass, $25 to Sunrise, and a pair of tickets for the World Championship Hot Wing Contest and Festival out at Tiger Lane next Saturday. Hold on, and Gabe will let you know how you're going to get your prizes.
You going to give Tim a shot?
Yeah, Tim's on the line. I'll give him a rap at it. What's
Hey,
up, Tim?
Second chance opportunity.
Hey, guys.
Here we go.
Thank you.
Bills.
No.
Packers.
Yes.
Broncos.
No.
Giants.
Yes.
Steelers.
Yes.
Chiefs.
Yes.
That's it. We're done. Good try, Tim. Not good enough, though. That's 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation. If you're scoring at home, the Cowboys and the Packers have made 33 playoff appearances. The New York Football Giants have appeared 32 times in the playoffs. The Steelers, 31. The Vikings, 30. Others we use, the Rams, 29. The Colts, 28. The Patriots, 27. The Eagles, 27. The 49ers, 27. The Bears just missed.
See, I thought the Bears would have been a yes. That was the one I would have.
26.
I would have missed on the Bears.
Yeah, they were 26. They were one behind. And this is through, obviously, last year. Good job, folks.
Just because I'm a great person.
That's debatable.
And a super nice guy.
That's debatable as well.
I've got another pair of tickets for the World Championship Hot Wing Contest and Festival that I will give away right now as well. A pair of tickets. Again, this is a week from tomorrow out at Tiger Lane. All kinds of great stuff going on, including a bunch of live music. I had all kinds of live music acts going. They're going to be playing throughout the day. It's 1 to 8 a week from tomorrow out at Tiger Lane, the World Championship Hot Wing Contest and Festival. Caller number 4 at 360-8255. Caller number 4, 360-8255. You will get a pair of tickets for the World Championship Hot Wing Contest and Festival. Again, worldwingfest.com is the website if you want to get more information on the event. I will let you know, by the way, children under 12 are free and veterans are free as well.
How many chicken wings can you eat in 10 minutes?
I don't know. I don't know. Are we talking bone in?
Yes.
Regular wings?
Yes.
If it's all is it all drummies?
All right, we'll do all drummies.
All drummies, 10 minutes? I could probably get 25.
You get 25?
I think you can go 2.5 a minute.
It's pretty impressive. And you're cleaning the bone? I mean, you're taking all that chicken off. Okay. All right.
I mean, it depends how big the wings are. Sometimes some of these places have like tiny little wings.
Right.
Other places have big old meaty wings. I'm not going to be able to get 25 of those down because that's too much.
Boxing legend Manny Pacquiao returns to the ring this Saturday for the first time in 2 years, and FanDuel Sportsbook is giving new customers exclusive 30-1 odds on either fighter to win when he takes on Jordanis Ugas. That's right, now is the perfect time to give FanDuel a shot because you can win $150 on a $5 bet. FanDuel is always hooking you up with exclusive odds boosts, great promotions, and so much more. That's why they're America's #1 sportsbook. So don't miss out on your chance to win $150 on a $5 bet when Manny Pacquiao returns to the ring against Jordanis Ugas. I got a feeling that Pacquiao's going to eventually lose, right? He's not undefeated. But the guy's ancient. I'm going with Ugas. I'm going with the upset here. But again,
Ugas.
$150 for a $5 bet. Just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app, sign up with promo code GASMAN to get in on the action. That's promo code GASMAN. Must be 21 or over and present in Tennessee. Odds boost available for new users only. Must wager on designated boost market. $10 first deposit is required. Max bonus is $150. Risk-free bet refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. Max refund $10. Restrictions apply. See full terms for both offers at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. If you have a gambling problem, call Tennessee Redline at 1-800-889-9789.
I want to thank the folks at FanDuel for refunding the bets yesterday on Jordan Spieth. That was very nice of them.
What happened?
They had Jordan Spieth. They had an odds boost on Jordan Spieth to shoot even par or better in the first round.
And that's right. I talked about it earlier in the week.
He bogeyed the last hole to shoot one over, but they went ahead and they refunded all the bets.
That is really nice. How about that?
Their new partnership with Jordan. So I appreciate them giving me my money back.
And I appreciate Spieth being won over because that was one of your picks, right? Or Jay?
No, it was not mine.
It was Jay then. As long as it's one of you guys and not my pick. All right, we'll take a final timeout. We'll come back and have some final thoughts, including one final thing. A lot of finals coming up in our final segment. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ. Listen to us daily on 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world at sports56whbq.com or on the Sports 56 app.
Tiger football opens at home against Nichols Saturday, September 4th at 6. And the rest of the schedule features SEC opponent Mississippi State, Navy, SMU, and more. Single game tickets are on sale now for all games, including Mississippi State, which starts at $60. Season tickets are also on sale, and you can get all 7 games for just $99. To lock in your seats for all the action, call 901-678-2331 or visit GoTigersGoTix.com.
Hey, Mid-South, are you ready to trade up to a Kia sales event at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah?
We're ready, Randy, with the best ride you'll ever drive. 2021 Kia Forte LXS, we Gossett at $249 a month. 2022 Kia Soul GT, it's ready to ride at $305 a month.
And Jeff Allen, I hear you've got American-made 2022 Kia K5, now $379 a month. And every Gossett Kia comes with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty program.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah, 2680 Mount Moriah, or KiaMountMoriah.com.
You heard the man, Jeff Allen. Don't miss the trade up to a Kia sales event at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah. All $29.99 due at signing, all 72 months at 2.9 APR sold in 715-1544 MSRP 24,200 K5 NG 103,647 MSRP 28,985 Forte LXS MSRP 20,590 includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 must finance through Kia on low APR. Excludes tax, title, and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 8/31/2021. Dealer stock only.
Moving is stressful, but Black Tie Moving can take the worry out of the process. Whether you're moving across town or across country, moving your home or your office, your personal moving concierge from Black Tie Moving will work with you to design a plan that perfectly fits your budget and needs. And they're available 24/7 to answer any questions you have. Give Black Tie Moving a call at 901-316-6196 or go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis to get your personal, no obligation quote from the moving experts at Black Tie Moving.
Taqueria Express has a new location at 6290 Winchester with family deals every day. Mouth-watering chicken tacos, only 99 cents. 3 tacos with rice, beans, and fresh guacamole, only $6. And incredible signature dishes with chicken or beef chimichangas and homemade tortillas stuffed with fresh beans, rice, and cheese on top. If you're hungry, try Taqueria Express's gigantic Macho Burrito. Homemade with fresh flour tortilla and you choose beef, chicken, pork, or shrimp. Includes beans, rice, melted cheese, lettuce, tomato, and sour cream. Fajita fans try Taqueria's delicious chicken or steak fajitas. Big enough for 2 people and only $10. If you're thirsty and want something unique, then try Taqueria drinks made from scratch like melon and pineapple. Margaritas are buy one, get one free, and they got a little kick to them. For real Mexican food, Taqueria Express, 6290 Winchester. We'll see you guys there, and don't forget those strong margaritas. Buy one, get one free.
Mount Moriah Auto Sales. What sets them apart? Great selection, quality, high-end to low-end cars, and low mileage. Mount Moriah Auto Sales is under new management. Ask for Emmett or Steven. Check out their great selection of cars or trucks. Choose from Dodges, Jeeps, Fords, GMCs, Infinitis, Porsches, Range Rovers, Lexus, Mercedes, BMWs, even Bentleys. Mount Moriah Auto Sales also has a great service department with 12 bays for everything from oil changes to alignment to new tires. Go to MountMoriahAutoSales.com. Pick out your like new car or truck today. Mount Moriah Auto Sales, right on the corner and right on the price.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
So I don't know how many years, well, I know how long we've been doing the show. You've been doing Christian Brothers football for how many years?
Since 2003.
So you were doing the games before we even started our show, and our show now has been on the air for 16 years. So I think every single Friday when Christian Brothers was going to play, and of course they'll play tomorrow, Saturday, I plugged my buddy who would be doing the play-by-play on this station. However, as you mentioned earlier when John Varlas was on with us, they cannot hear the velvet tones of Eli Savoy on our airwaves.
Yeah, they will not. We will not have the Christian Brothers games here on the radio. That we will be doing. They are doing just the video stream of the games this year. I will still be doing the broadcast. Only be online on the video stream. You'll be able to get them through the Christian Brothers website at cbhs.org. But yeah, so you'll still be able to get the games. You'll still be able to get me, but it will not be here on the radio.
John Rahm, 12 under. He is your leader at the halfway point of the Northern Trust, the first playoff event of the 3 that will determine the FedEx Cup winner. Tony Finau, 11 under, is a stroke behind. Justin Thomas, Keith Mitchell at 10 under. They are 2 strokes behind the number 1 player in the world, John Rahm.
Rahm's pretty good.
This just it.
I don't think he's made a bogey yet in this. I know he came in. He didn't make one yesterday, and he was at 25 or 26 holes in a row without a bogey. He's rolling.
He has been my story this year, right? With our little 3-man scramble. Rahm, of course, had the Memorial where he was leading and got a positive test and had to withdraw, and he was my pick. Well, he's my pick this week. So please, to John Rahm, stay away from everybody because I don't even know if this guy's been vaccinated. Just keep doing what you're doing on the course. Maybe I'll win.
Yeah, he did not make a bogey today, so he is bogey-free through his first 36 holes at Liberty National. So that's pretty good.
Impressive.
Pretty darn good. Time now for one final thing.
Before Greg and Eli get out of here for the day, they each have one final thing they think you should know to make it through the rest of your day. So here are Greg and Eli with one final thing.
Another twist in the whole Trevor Bauer drama. A temporary restraining order against him has been dissolved after Los Angeles Superior Court Judge Diana Gould Saltman ruled against the woman's request for a permanent restraining order. Gould Saltman determined that Bauer did not pose a threat to the 27-year-old woman who accused him of sexual assault over the course of 2 sexual encounters, and that her injuries were not the result of anything she verbally objected to before or during the encounter. The judge said the injuries as shown in the photographs are terrible, but added if she set limits and he exceeded them, this case would have been clear. But she set limits without considering all the consequences, and respondent did not exceed limits that the petitioner set. Very, very interesting comments made by the female judge about this encounter.
Yeah, the question now is what baseball will do. They are continuing their investigation into this, and so with this now happening, what does baseball do as far as his future is concerned. It's going to be interesting to see how they go about handling this situation. Well, LeBron James is mad. LeBron James is angry because in an ESPN survey of 10 NBA scouts and executives, he was left off. He did not get one vote as the best player in the NBA right now. The votes were actually split evenly between Giannis Antetokounmpo and Kevin Durant. Each got 5. And LeBron was not happy. LeBron tweeted, "Thank you," all capitals, as if I didn't need more to, and then the gas pump, I assume, fuel me. #washed.
Grow up.
So LeBron, more motivation for this year because the folks don't think he's the best player in the league. 10 votes, evenly divided between Giannis and KD. None for LeBron.
Well, look, is it shocking that Giannis and KD got the votes and LeBron didn't? LeBron is still a great player and arguably the greatest player ever. However, I wouldn't have voted for LeBron. I don't know if many people would have right now when you have all these other great players, especially those two. But that's LeBron. You don't put baby into a corner. You don't put LeBron into a corner. So he'll come out guns a-blazing. But, boy, he's a baby.
By the way,
everything bothers him.
Best offseason move, they voted the Kyle Lowry move to Miami. The worst offseason move, they had the New Orleans Pelican offseason and DeMar DeRozan to the Bulls, each tied for the most votes in that one.
Did Santi Aldama's drafting receive any votes?
I'm not sure these people were notified about that.
Our thanks to John Varlas, Michael Wallace, and Brad Logan for joining us on the program today. And as always, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for listening to the program, your texts, your phone calls. We appreciate it. We appreciate it, especially those who have been around all these 16 years listening to us here on Sports 56 Middays. Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio is coming up next, so stay tuned for that. For Eli Savoy and Gabe Kuhn, I'm Greg Gaston. Have a great weekend, everybody. Safe weekend. We'll talk to you on Monday.
Hey, everybody. It is so cool